If we're live,
Jay, when am I going to move this over?
it says we're live now here. Huh?
There, it's like counting down now. Turn like the video. There we go.
I'm muted on the mic over there, so. Hey,
So I'm gonna flip the lights on.
yeah, that's fine. I need to know, somebody go over there somewhere and go on the, just make sure the audio is good. It says that the source is good, everything is good, but you never know.
It's on.
Washing my hands in forever, and I know there's hope in this water, but I can't help myself from drowning in this silence. Don't you help me, baby, let me go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, welcome to MeCon.
MeCon 2019. Yeah, right. 2021. We skipped a year. We actually did the conference last year, as you guys know, but I don't count 2020 anymore. I think all of us want to forget about 2020, but we did learn a lot of lessons, and I think for better or worse, I think it's going to make us better humans. We're going to appreciate each other a little bit more. We're going to love one another a little bit more. We're going to definitely appreciate being close to each other a little bit more. And, the journey
Be hearing some incredible artists today. I think we need to bring over that. What an intro! I'm even blown away by this. Being here at the Microsoft Garage is just an epic opportunity, and we couldn't be more excited to have all of you with us. We want to know why you're here, what you're looking for, what you want to get out of this event, what you want to get out of 2022. We're here to help you get motivated, find the courage and the motivation to just get prepared, have a plan, know where you're everything from financial literacy to down to or how to put all the right elements together for a business. Everyone's journey is completely different, and so we're gonna help you really map out what's right for you. But I think Lisa, we're here to say hello. Everybody after that amazing performance.
Yeah, there's a little lag, I see it. All right, guys, it's figure this out. Sometimes it's my shows. So sometimes it's a little lag, so it's good. So you get a bit more. Yeah, it's out.
Tell us a little about yourself. I know that you're just in this whole music career thing rolling. How are you feeling? Where you're
So I am not just a quick job was at a 10.
You say.
I know that. And tell me after here. Okay, so here's some same way. Yeah, I was really I was of course I'm doing it's not everyone's on a shop seat. And I don't know if I know exactly.
Feeling like, oh gosh, I love this. What feeling doing right now?
So I have a lot of questions. I think so I don't like how so singing. Yeah, I think I'm talking probably just like having positions and things. I will say this back on that. Create some outlets.
And what was your welcome password? Maybe tweet on this a little bit more.
So last year I read 3 guys I was working on something. Which was doing like 3 different projects. Like something that bodies. Cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. I just put myself. So yeah. Sports and music. But really not sure.
Speak better. I want you to find out how this transition, learn to be together. One of the things definitely you might not be listening is we don't need to be superstars and have hundreds of millions of followers. We need to do
It should be okay now.
Can we?
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, yeah,
Out
now you
there, everyone.
Are we back?
We should be good. We should be good now. Seems like they're working on it. Hey, give us a thumbs up if you see the sound back on.
Seems like they're working on it. No sound, video quality isn't great. Oh no, what's happening?
Sound is back. Yay. All right. Awesome. So what I was saying is, we want to give you a little rundown as to what's going to happen in the next couple of days, because it's important that you guys know and understand that, what we've always tried to do is just bring you valuable information, valuable speakers, and valuable people that can bring you a pathway and just create a GPS for you so you can understand where you are now in your career is not where you want to be or where you're going to stay, right? But you do need a GPS, you need a roadmap, you need a path, and sometimes you need some people to point you the right way. So this is pretty much how we, start creating a map and working with, some incredible, valuable connections that we've created along the way in this last few years. So I want you to give them a little rundown as to the speakers. In the meantime, I'm going to make sure that this continues to run properly.
All right. So today you're going to hear number one from the chief envisioner himself, Mike Pell. He's coming on in just a few minutes. Again, thank you, Mike, and just the whole Microsoft team for allowing us to be here. What a cool setup! I mean, this is incredible. We've got Ariane Prada. She is the founder and CEO of Olympia Coaching. This woman has 15 years of music business experience all around the world, and she realized that sometimes in the music business we don't really have the right work-life balance. Anybody have a little issue with some of that? And needed a little life coaching, right? I think we can all use a little life coaching. And so she's created an incredible coaching business. She's going to be coming on and talking about really how to create that unstoppable mindset, because that's what we need. Sometimes the sound goes out, sometimes the power goes out, sometimes video's choppy, who knows? Things just, again, are not going to go as planned as much as you try. But the key to success is really going to be that unstoppable mindset. And so that's where we really wanted to start out today. Then we're going to also have Suze Polinsky, of course, the Rockstar advocate, another woman who's been working with labels, artists for decades, and realized that there really needs to be a system and a roadmap to get you ahead. So she does things like Redefine the Hustle. That's what we're going to go through a workshop today of really, again, how to create that roadmap, how to create that flow. We're going to be talking with Christine Osazuo, who has, again, been working for companies like Warner Music, handling all the data and analytics. Again, we've got so much right at our fingertips, but it's really breaking that down and figuring out how to create step-by-step, process with that. And so we've got her, we've got Frank Simonetti, who runs Sweetie High and Social Impact. This is one of the biggest Gen Z media companies out there, and also record label. They've been building amazing brands like Jenna Rose, an artist you're going to get to see a little bit later. We've got the queen of hip hop herself, Wendy Day, who has been helping all sorts of artists create the right, contracts and teams for themselves. And she's going to be talking with Dr. Cheryl Robinson about pivoting, because in this business, sometimes you realize, like, shit, my plan didn't really go as planned, and I got to do something else. I realized that I'm not going the right direction, so we got to pivot. So we've got
that's the
lots
whole
of
point,
great
right? When the crap hits the fan, I always went to conferences and I always witnessed incredible speakers, incredible technology, incredible new products. All these different things were amazing, and I was blown away. And I always left every conference just wondering, what do I do now? What's my first step? Number one, and number two, like, no one ever prepared me for the things that I had to deal with, on the go, right? Like, in a recording studio, you're working with a rapper, and then the strippers show up, and they have a baby mama drama, and and then next thing you know, you're dealing with all these crazy things, and no one prepares you for what is happening when the shit hits the fan. So this is what we really like to focus on. Like, we like to ask our speakers, our incredible team, and everybody that is involved in bringing you value, like, what are some of the problems that you had to troubleshoot? what are some of the ways that you can get yourself out there? What are the most efficient ways to learn how to fish? Because sometimes you got to figure out things on the fly. And hey, yes, I am a graduate of YouTube University, several PhDs, definitely. But at the end of the day, I do want to hear from some of my peers and some of the people that are doing it the right way. What is the right way? Because there's so much information out there, you just never know what's what. So I think that one of the first things we want to do today, just to kick these things a little bit off, is that we want to introduce the man that's allowed us to be here in this space, and really get to know a little bit more about Mike and about what happens in this incredible building. And actually, he and I have a little bit of a really awesome connection with Microsoft. So that's a story for another time. But I really want to bring Mike Pell in so that we can talk a little bit.
So, and I got to read this off really quickly because you got to know who this man really is. Bold, insightful, uncompromising, I think something like that.
That's me.
Recognized as a world-class designer and industry thought leader in fields of next-gen visualization, blah, 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 we can say that, and smart information. Pell's evolution from intrepid entrepreneur to VC-backed startup veteran to corporate man, from Adobe to Microsoft, has given him a unique perspective on how to combine business, experience, technology, and create breakthrough experiences. He's got some incredible books that we're going to talk about. He currently leads, obviously, the Microsoft Garage, part of the company's worldwide innovative program to move ideas forward quickly to foster a culture of experimentation. His books, Envisioning Holograms, is considered a must-have for tomorrow's most influential storytellers, which we need to talk a lot about storytelling. The Age of Smart Information details how the fundamental nature of communication is transforming with a combination of AI and spatial technologies. Welcome, Mike Pell, to the show.
Thank you. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you. First of all, thank all of you. You said it best, right? You never know what's going to happen, right? We got technology, we got stuff happening in real time, but it's okay. We're going to make the best of it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to try to smooth that, right? You working on the whole internet thing? Okay. But thank you for being here with us. It's really our honor and pleasure to host MeCom. This is so fun. It's so fun for me personally. It's so great to both have you, all of our guests here, and to take you through a journey over the next couple of days, right?
Yes.
Amazing, thank you. So first of all, Envisioneer. That's probably the greatest title I've ever heard in any career.
I like that because I made it up.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. And
That's what we do. There's no rules here.
Yes.
We make shit up.
And number two, I think that this is also very important. If you be so kind to tell us, how did the garage come up? And obviously he's wearing his mechanic.
I work in the garage. Yeah, well, so first of all, the Microsoft Garage program is really about innovation. It's about taking employees' ideas and trying to move them forward in some way. We all have great ideas, every single one of us. We shouldn't ever be in a situation where someone's telling you, well, I don't know, I didn't come up with that idea. It's like that boss knows best. Yeah, that's terrible. You're all musicians, you're entrepreneurs, you're trying to do this for yourself, so more than anybody. You got to just sort of do your own thing. And at Microsoft, what we learned many years ago when we got a new CEO is we needed to change the way we thought and the way that we worked every day. It's no secret. Before 8 years ago, when our new CEO, Satya Nadella, joined the company, became CEO, we didn't really play nicely together, right? We were very siloed, we did our own thing, we were very successful, but we really wanted to change the culture, right? We wanted to change how we thought and worked. And so the Garage program was sort of rebooted to help change how we work by trying things, being curious, being experimental.
So how important is the culture when you're putting together a team? Artists.
It's everything. Talent's only going to get you so far. You both know that, right?
Yeah.
You know that. Talent is only going to get you so far. I'm sorry, maybe if you didn't know that. You've got to have a great team. You got to have people you trust. You got to have people that push you, that challenge you, that really say, you know what, Rachel, I'm not so sure that's the best idea, but let's try. Like, let's go do it and see what happens.
Mhm.
And that's sort of the spirit of the garage program around the world is we're doers, not talkers. We just try. And if it doesn't go our way, get up, dust ourselves off, and try it again.
I love that. It's just about trying, putting yourself out there. And I mean, I'm sure you've had a few failures along the way. I can't believe that you got everything right every single
You know,
time.
I always tell people, they don't believe me, but it's true. I fail every single day, without fail.
Mm.
And that's how you learn, right? There's nothing romantic about failing, right? There's something in the high-tech industry, you probably heard the phrase fail fast. I really don't like when people try to romanticize failure because there's nothing good about it other than
Then you learn from it. There you go. Mhm.
And oftentimes if you pay attention, then something amazing comes out of it.
And one last thing, so in the garage, and you said that there's garages all over the world, yeah? So innovation, okay, so it happens. So right now, can you, without giving away too many secrets, what are some of the things that you all are interested in, like as far as what 3.0, metaverse, all these different things?
Yeah. All of it, really. I mean, there's so many people at Microsoft that are into just about anything you can think of, quantum computing, right? Sustainability, hacking for good, for social good. So we care about all of it. We work on all of it. We just got done running the world's biggest private hackathon, where almost 70,000 Microsoft employees and our guests worldwide got together for a few days, took their crazy ideas and made them real enough to try. And so that was great. We covered all the topics. Me personally, I've been working in what now is called the metaverse for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so I've written a couple of books about what I learned about how to think about designing for this new spatial world when we have digital things in the real world and real things in the digital world, like that whole mashup. So it's a lot of fun for me. We care a lot about that.
Mm. And we are working on a fun secret
Yeah,
project as well.
secret, don't tell anybody.
So when it comes to all of that, how should artists be thinking? What is coming? You talked about how communication is transforming.
Yep.
I mean, just experiences, right? We don't have to just be looking at a music video on a phone or, listening to music through Spotify. There's so many more things that are coming. What should people be thinking about?
Should be thinking about what makes you happy. Like what is beyond your wildest dreams? What are the things that you just wish could be real? Because those are the things that we're going to do together somehow. Right? Like we're going to get there. We're going to figure it out. But for us, it starts with not limiting your own imagination. Because a lot of people do that. You hear especially in music, you hear this expression, "You got to dream bigger." It's true. When we talk about experiential design, like how do you combine being with someone, not being with someone, us being together virtually, like digital, like hybrid, it's all about what's possible in your imagination, and let's go do that. Let's go all the way out to the optimal, the best possible situation, and start to walk back and figure out what giant leaps do we have to make together to get there. And that's what we all collaborate on and like to do. But it really starts with, for me anyway, imagining how far can you go? Like how far can you really push this? There's nothing wrong with a single person sitting, playing piano or guitar or just singing like we heard earlier. That was fantastic. There's nothing wrong with just staying with that. But there are so many things possible now in the world.
Yep.
We've all seen it around us. We just got to start to combine, little things together in unexpected ways, because that's where the magic comes in. When you go to see something and you're blown away because you had no idea it was going to be like that. That's right. That's what gets you.
Yes.
Whether it's live performance, seeing something on video, seeing something on a giant billboard as you're walking down the street, doesn't matter. It's the unexpected that people really crave.
Yeah, speaking of that, thank you for allowing us or giving us the set. As you guys can see right outside, this is like TRL back in the days. I feel like I'm back in the days of MTV. Some people watching are like, what was that? What are you talking about? I've never heard of TRL. But no, this is a beautiful set, obviously a dream come true for us to be here, to collaborate with you and to just continue this process of creating a new path forward for creators. And really that's what this is about. This weekend is about creators, Yes, of course, everybody in the business counts, right? We need the managers, we need the attorneys, we need every single aspect of the business is important. Yes, we are live, and that's why you hear crazy things in the background. Might be a ghost, I don't know.
Just wait till the ambulances start.
Oh, yeah, we are.
We are in New York City, right along Austin Street.
But that
so
being
who
said,
knows what's gonna happen.
It's important that you know that every single speaker, every single participant this weekend, every single person that has given their life to the career and is now sharing with you, it's here because they want to be here. They want to share. They want to be a part of your journey. So don't be shy. Ask questions. Talk as much as you can. Absorb. If you have any concerns or anything, let us know.
And also, I always tell people, I'm happy to talk about any of this with anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Like, come and find me on Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever. Nobody ever asked me anything.
Yeah.
But you can ask me whatever you want.
It's interesting because I think that happens all the time. People get intimidated. There's been times where we've said, we had a contest to go to China with us. And believe it or not, it wasn't that many people that applied for it,
Because they probably thought you're like, oh, this can't be real.
which is crazy. And I was like, wow, I wish, and I was one of the ones that I applied to everything. I didn't care. Oh, hence I'm here, right? I went to an audition for Microsoft and I ended up here. But anyway, the point is that this is important. It's, in Spanish, we have a saying, el que no grita, no mama. Okay? And that means, like, when kids scream, then they get fed, So, el que no grita, no mama. You get it? You suck, Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Hey, listen, if you speak Spanish, you know what I'm saying. That's all I gotta say.
We say here the Squinty Wheel gets the grease, but
Yeah.
Well,
Some
us Latin
people
people, we're
we gotta
extra.
do something.
Black and brown, we extra. That's how we are, But it's all good.
That's great.
So
Well,
yeah.
Thank you again. I was going to say thank you for your patience. Like, we'll figure out all the tech part of this. Like, I'll go back to working in the garage, fixing all the wiring, and we'll get it going. We have a great set of people here today.
We do.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah, oh my
Okay.
gosh, my
All right, do your
pleasure.
thing.
Thank you, crew,
Yeah.
everybody who's here, artists. We've got VPR Radio in the house. You're gonna see Kiana and DJ FMI later today as well. Z Winna's in the house.
See
One of the
winner.
biggest future directors coming. He's gonna teach you all about how to create content on a budget. Okay, we need to know how to create really high quality content on a budget. So he and Jalen are gonna walk you guys through that as well. So I think we should just maybe jump right into one of the first sessions. Yeah, you got anything else you want to share?
I think you have some other stuff to share while I set up that session.
Oh, do you? Okay, no problem. Well, so in the meantime, what we're gonna do is, Kiana, I want you to come here, say what's up to everyone. You're looking stunning. FMI, get over here. We're gonna hear all about VPR Radio, how this came about. Oh, you wanna grab a little stool over here? Yeah, you guys go set up here. And what's up, everybody? I see you here on the chat.
Yeah, and the fun thing about all of this is, again, this is live. We're gonna have some kinks and stuff to work out the first day, but not to worry. The content is here. Some of the interviews will be live. We're very, very excited, and I think that one of the first things that you should know is that, again, Mike, and we couldn't say what it is, but we are working on something amazing for the metaverse. That's all I can say. So just keep that in mind. What's up, man?
How you doing, my brother?
Good to see you.
Welcome.
I know we're all spread
Right,
out.
I got the
you scoot over
family
there,
up in
you
here.
are scooting here in the
All right.
middle. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Here. So welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Great.
Oh my gosh. So introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about VPR Radio.
Absolutely. So I'm Kiana Williams, aka Kiana the Goddess, and we, myself and DJ FMI, are from VPR Radio, which is Voice of the People Radio.
It is. And I am DJ from Anthony Clark if you're looking for me on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one part of VPR Radio. Kiana, want to kick it off?
Yeah. So Anthony and I met many years ago when I was working with T-Pain. Shout out to John Landers because I saw him earlier on the live. And he was working with Convict Music. So we established a great rapport, through the years. And randomly, I reached out to him when I was doing radio some years ago, and I was like, "My DJ's gonna be out. Do you think that you can make it?" He was like, "Sure." Comes in. We had such a great show. And then what was it, like maybe a year later?
It was a while when that random call came in.
Yeah. So the industry is a little crazy. Sometimes when you're working with a team of people, they might be working against you, per se. So I found myself in that role doing radio, and I was like, this isn't making me happy. I love it, but I don't like the pushback that I'm getting from people around me. So I kept getting encouraged to start a show. And I was like, well, let me start a show. I've got to be with DJ FMI. And he said, yeah. And we've been rocking now for almost 4 years. So the premise of our show is really very much in tune with Mekon and what you guys present to the world, which is supporting those independent artists, teaching them the business behind the music, right? Teaching them how to build a sustainable career. Everybody doesn't have to be Beyonce. Everybody doesn't have to, get to that level, but you can still travel the world. You can still be very successful. You can make great money. So we talk about networking. We bring in so many different types of industry leaders. We've had amazing interviews over the last 3
We've
years.
had Cassie, we've had Olivia, we've had
Simonetti,
so many,
Yo MTV Raps, and the
Yes.
list goes on and on and on for sure.
the music box also.
Video Music
maybe our
Box.
Ross and Dennis.
Yeah, so it's been a wonderful journey, and we're ready for 2022, and we're here to not just, absorb, but also to participate, so. we
We're
appreciate
gonna
it.
take a momentary break, just for about 30 seconds or a minute, and be right back.
See what's going on in the chat.
Mike?
This is how we connect to chat.
I was watching a little bit there, I'm looking at the chat, lighting up, I'm just like,
Right.
that's why I'm like, loving
Get
it.
out there.
Yeah.
Vicky? All right,
All right. Magic. Disappear. Back.
Virtual world.
So we're
yes.
here. Yes. Okay. We can do this. All right. Yes. Thank you, everyone, for helping with all of this. So, I mean, tell us a little bit, kind of, how was the journey like starting out the show? Now you're in year 4. I think one of the biggest things that we really like to drive home in this conference is that like shit's hard. Okay, and you're not the only one that is going through it, and and is facing those challenges. So, what were some of the challenges that you have faced along the way, and how have you pressed through them? Because also, when things get tough, what so many people do is like automatically just throw in the towel. Oh, blame. Oh, it's your fault. Like I need a new partner, right?
Yeah.
And the strength. I mean, trust me. Like we've been working together for a long time, but we've always stuck it out, and we've always believed in the mission and the goal where we're going, and that's what helps us to really stick together. So, what kind of challenges have you guys faced along the way, and how have you gone through them?
Well, I would say our initial challenges were like really trying to figure out the format. We knew we wanted to serve independent artists. We have great synergy. So we've never had like a blame game or, if I can't make it, we figure it out, and vice versa. COVID was definitely a big challenge. We had to segue from being in studio.
Yeah, just meeting our guests and sitting down with them and just getting face to face with them and learning them before we interview them and making them feel comfortable on camera is what I like.
Yeah, so we can see you a little more. There we go.
And that's one of the biggest experiences I want to think about VPR. So when COVID happened and me and Kiana are just brainstorming how we're going to bring this platform online. All right, how are we going to do this? You have the mic. You have this. Let's get a backdrop. Let's get this laminated. So it was just things like that, that we had to learn just through this tough 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So that was definitely a big obstacle, but we rode right through it, and that's the beauty of our synergy. I think we're both Libra, shout out there. So we roll with it, and I think because we're so passionate about what we do, and we're loving what we do, we're in it for the long run. We never saw this as like making a ton of money. We put out a ton of money to produce our content.
Studio.
Like all of it. So recognize the fact that whatever business venture you're going to begin is going to require an investment of your time, your resources, and your money. And you have to stick to your plan. So like I said, we kind of started impromptu, and then we started putting things together. Now I'm working in data analytics and really learning how I can bring that over to our platform to really serve our audience, our global audience better, and extrapolate information. So it's really just about keeping the growth and keeping the momentum.
Yeah, and actually being there, being present, you know what I mean? There's so many events going on. You could just be watching it virtually, you know what I mean? You're still attending. So you're picking up information along that, we're applying as we go, all of us.
So, Voice of the People Radio, right? So tell us a little bit more of like, what are the topics like? What's the flow of the show typically like? And for anyone who wants to maybe be featured on the show, how can that happen?
Absolutely. So like I said, we have a lot of industry leaders. We really go after people that, again, are passionate, match our core values, passionate about what they do, philanthropists, authors, actors, musicians, obviously, but people that have been doing it for a long time and they're successful. So when they come and they're speaking, they're giving you some guidelines and some tips that you can follow. We love our flow of our conversation to be very easy. We don't make people positive.
We're not here to bash other people online,
Exactly.
Who are we to judge anyone? We go over that. So on VPR, we try to stay away from the negative content, whether it be political or anything like that.
Or
you know what
anything
I'm
like
saying?
that. We really push for like social awareness, humanity and kindness and positivity, doing acts of kindness to, kind of help the balance and the shift of a lot of the negativity that we have in the world. So unlike a lot of these like popular podcasts that, they really talk about everything in pop culture and the beef and the rumors, we stick to the things that are actually important in the communities. And, disparity in education, healthcare. We want to tackle those issues and create some actual actionable plans behind it to how we can do better and how we can serve better humans in our communities.
I love that. So you talk about, positivity, right? So we're all just trying to, keep it moving, keep a positive mindset. But, again, look at the last couple of years that we've dealt with. That's really taken a lot of our energy down. And I think we're all trying to figure out how to really build ourselves back up, have that confidence. A lot of us have pivoted, are trying new things. Do you ever have down days? And they're like, oh. Right? We all have them, okay?
We all have them. We were just recording the other day, and my partner had a throbbing toothache. So,
and we're live at the video music box. I'm sitting here going through that. I'm like getting the footage, and Kiana, we're running the room, and we're doing what we have to do. But these are the things that we go through. Remember, I DJ full time. I own a company, so other than booking events and touring with my artists, I'm doing VPR. I'm doing these, press events and beautiful, opportunities like this.
Do you have any mindset hacks or kind of go-to habits or things that if you wake up, you're feeling like a phone, or maybe, you had a show, something didn't work out the way that you wanted it to, you had that epic failure, whatever it is. What's your kind of, go-to, remind yourself, fail forward, learn? Are there any certain things you want to, okay, all right, let's hear it.
Mine is gratitude. Gratitude. Having a bad day, feeling pissy, I'm mad I didn't get what I wanted. Gratitude, because it can be so much worse. I mean, we were just talking about this artist that's in distress on the other side of the world, and women are oppressed. And what am I really complaining about? My children are safe and healthy. I'm safe and healthy. I'm doing what I love for a living. What am I really complaining about? How can I make myself feel better? How can I serve someone to feel better? And then just go forward positively. So I'm constantly having to talk myself out of things. I have anxiety too. So
right, I'm getting that negative self-talk. It's like,
child, yesterday I was like, big help, and so I had to bring it in. Talk yourself down.
For me, I wake up every morning and I sit there and say, if it's meant for me, it's gonna come to me. I believe strongly in the universe and just putting positive things out there. It's going to come back to you, doing positive business, helping another person. Don't look for anything back.
Right.
It will come back your way. You will be rewarded just for your task, and it'll just work out.
That's a great way to put it. Bringing value to people is the best way to get, and you don't have to expect it.
That's right. And you shouldn't expect it.
Yep, the
You should do it
universe
from
gives
your
it
heart.
back to you.
Yeah. The power of kindness to get out there. I mean, because it's hard. Sometimes, you want to focus on gratitude, but we're not always like super grateful.
Right. Sometimes I don't have my coffee in the morning.
Right? And so, I mean, do you just wake up and just is it just kind of a mental reminder? Just check in, like, hey,
I think for me it is now, but I go to sleep with like meditations and gratitude. Like I'm brainwashing myself.
All right, so nightly meditation. That's right. Get back in that relaxed mode, kind of let the stress out from the day. She's also a mother of six. This isn't like a mother of six. Come on. Okay.
Wait,
The
who's
new
the
mother
mother?
of six.
Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or
Mother of six.
Just two little ones.
Yes. You don't want to do it.
That's right.
You have to find a way to detox. Social media has so much going on with it that we take in so much every day subconsciously without us noticing it.
Yeah.
And
all
you
that.
have to find that, that downtime. Turn off your phone, whether it be for an hour, and go take that shower, and just sit and think about things you want to accomplish. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Same here.
When I get in the shower, I'm looking on YouTube for some kind of motivation for entrepreneurs. Whatever it is. I don't know who it is or what it is, but I'm just gonna get in the shower and
Listen to your motivation while you cry. However it works, whatever it takes, And then I completely agree. Like for me, the first hour of getting up, I don't go on social media. I'm very in my head, dealing with my children and just keeping everything light and positive. So I think that's super important. I took off all of November on social media.
no picking up the phone as soon as you wake up and scrolling and getting on there. Set your intentions. How do you want your day to go?
Right.
Map that out. There's an incredible book. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Miracle Morning. So it's like, specific habits to do every single day. Journaling, writing that gratitude journal, reminding yourself that, even though there is some stress and there's some shit going on, I do have, a lot of positive things happening. I can create positive things in my life, get out to nature, get exercising, especially leading up to this event, because listen, all of you out there that are watching, I know your time is precious. And so, we really do put a lot of of pressure on ourselves to make sure that this is a great experience. And I get in my own head at times, so I just need to like get up in the morning, get myself moving, get outside, walk, listen to some meditation, all of that. So tell me what else. Tell me what else do you do to kind of keep that positive mindset?
Well, I DJ, so if I get new music from artists that are sending me to my email, I'll sit there and just play with the sound and try to find motivation with that. I'll bring it back to the studio, whether I work on producing a next record. I'll use those moments to wash my mind of everything. You know what I mean? So I'm not thinking about anything else.
Yeah.
Try to dump it in the music.
All right. And I would say the last thing is surround yourself with like-minded people, right? Because if you're surrounded by a bunch of toxic individuals and you're trying to be happy and an entrepreneur and going and like, you can't do that. Nobody does that. You need people around you like, yes, girl, you better get it, and encourage you.
Yes.
So that's all I surround myself with. And I think that that's why we work out so great, because we literally have that same mindset. If I'm going crazy, he's like, it's okay. He's going crazy, I'm like, it's okay. And then we'll get on air and no one will even know we just both have a mental breakdown.
That's what it is. Then you do it, yeah. And that's a key word, crazy, all right? We're here because we're delusionaries.
Yes.
Like, we're gotta be a little delusional and a little visionary to just, keep it going. And the power of the messages coming around, whether it's through the news, whether it's through socials, whether it's through the people around you. I always say, you are the 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely, right? Yeah. Are those people around you encouraging you, even if they're not doing the same thing as you, are they at least telling you, hey, go, you can do this, I'll help you figure it out, or whatever it is. But, we all have a few naysayers around that might have to and it's not easy to cut those people out. Could be family, could be friends. Not that you have to completely cut them out of your life, but you might have to just, put them in their corner, set those boundaries, and look, we continue to harp on this because this is the most essential part of it, right? You can have the best product, the best business, but if you're, not prepared for that, you don't have great people around, that can really save the ship, right?
Because it's all about your belief in you. So if people are chipping away at your own belief, you're gonna wind up.
Yeah. So let's switch gears a little bit. So, branding, marketing, building a business in music.
Yeah.
You have Goddess Media, you're touring, doing all of this, DJing, helping artists grow. I really want to know, as a DJ, what is really essential right now to get yourself out there? What are you focused on? I want to hear about your goals for this year as well.
All right. So just to touch on what it is to get out there as an artist now, at least what I'm looking for as a DJ. I always tell people, make the record approachable. You understand me? If you're gonna give me the record, please send it with your full bio. Let me see your EPK. You know what I mean? Let me see that.
Proper EPK. And luckily we have tune tracks later. Remy Jordan, which I probably butchered your name because you're French and I'm not. But I know you love me, don't you? But he's gonna be talking all about how to really build that right EPK and not just having a PDF, really having something engaging, digital, all of that. So. And
also, as much as I like, alternative sounds and you can make any sound of music, I don't want to hear voice memos. You know what I mean? If you're gonna send it to me, have the track ID, have the BPM set up for me, and focus on marketing. Focus on your social media. Don't try to just get the same people that follow you every day. You're supposed to reach out to a new market. Watch who you brand with and watch who you associate your brand. Now, for some of the things that I want to get accomplished this year, well, just take over the world.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Small things, small steps.
Yeah.
We'll start there. But I have a few tours coming up, and I'm working on a few deals with a few brands. So I'm going to announce that in the upcoming year, and we'll go from there. But right now, I'm going to keep on that.
When it comes to, building your business, how important is networking and how do you go about it?
I'm gonna try something, just FYI. We just installed a new mic, and let's see how that.
Working hard on the tech over here, so.
I wanna know.
Thanks, y'all.
So this is a different microphone, and I need to know if you guys can hear us.
And John Lambert is saying what's up.
That's my boy. That's how so many things in my career came together working with him and with Brian Jack.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this audio is gonna work.
I love it. There's some in-house therapy going on through the chat right now.
Yes,
you all hear what I'm
check,
saying.
1,
I hear tapping, meditation, all of that.
I check my check 1 2 1 2. Okay. Less reverb, thinner but better. Okay.
You like
Okay,
that?
okay.
Professional help.
That sounds better than before, right? Okay, cool. You guys go ahead, keep talking. I will be back.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and see if there's another microphone that we can plug closer.
I hear 222 Media Group here saying as soon as something negative happens to an artist, they ask, where was the team? Tell us more. What do you mean by that? I want to come back to that.
So then
Okay, so keep going. So networking, relationship building, like what are some of the key aspects? How do you get yourself out there?
So my thing is, I always tell these artists to look out for these media leads. Go out there, put yourself where you think you need to be. If you think that artist is going to be there, if you think that label exec is going to be there, you need to be there. We're in New York City right now. There's SOBs, there's many different hubs that you can access. And once you need to get their email, say, hey, give them your business card. Hey, this is me. This is my USB, or have it integrated into the business card. You can do that, scan it. And I'm interested in working with you, but hear this out. I'm 10 times more willing to work with you. Whether you're just coming up to me, yo, I got the hottest music in the street. I hear that every night when I'm doing these clubs, and I don't knock it, as you should supposed to feel that way as an artist. But it's just the way you present it. You know what I mean? Please be proper. Don't hit me up after 3 o'clock. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's all about professionalism, right? And Jalen touched on it earlier, talking about the intimidation that you get from people. You have to have confidence and know that when you're making these connections, you belong there. Trust the process, foster those relationships, and be professional. Like you said, we get a lot of unprofessional emails, and I'll often respond and say, we're not going to accept it like this, but in the future, you should do this, this, and this, and if
Wow, that's nice.
they'll just send an MP3.
I'm like,
I know. It's when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? But it's so frustrating. I just want these artists to know, do better. Even if it's just you and you don't have a team, you can still do better. You can put together a note. Stop spamming people. Don't spam. You wouldn't spam me in person. You wouldn't be like, yo, this is the best. You wouldn't do that. You'd be like, hi, blah, blah, blah. So, I think social media has removed a lot of that personability, that face to face, but people need to still recognize you have to be professional in your approach.
Yeah. If you want to work together, you want to do anything, definitely, hit me up on LinkedIn. Where can people hit you up? They've got some questions, they want to learn more. Are you a LinkedIn person? Right on your website?
Yeah, we're everywhere. So VPR is www.vprradio.org, and you can also follow us on Instagram at VPR_radio. That's DJFMI. I'm Kiana the Goddess, QIANA, no you. And then my website is goddessmedianyc.com. So if you need to be sort of professionally crafted content or digital marketing, or you need some consultation, you don't really know where to begin, that's what I provide.
So let's get into Goddess Media. Share a little bit more of, what you do there, and in your opinion, what should people be focusing on right now to, get more exposure? I certainly want to touch on the PR stuff as well, because I know that you kick ass in that. So
yeah. So
just like that.
All right. I mean, again, it starts with the professionalism, understanding your brand, understanding your market. So I think that's a very important aspect, especially if you're an artist. Everyone isn't.
Are we on? Are we good?
Everyone isn't going to be receptive to your music, but know who is receptive to your music. Like you said earlier, those super fans, tapping into those super fans, using your data, using, your concerts, your connections, how you connect with people in your network on social media. Are you just, letting them reply, or are you going back and commenting? Are you collecting emails? Are you sending out newsletters? These are the important components of really building up those people that follow you, and then taking them and turning them into people that actually purchase your music and purchase your merchandise, come out while you're on tour, see you in concerts, et cetera, et cetera.
We're going to be talking a lot about that whole superfan process, and I'm glad that you talked about that. When it comes to social media, don't respond to your fans with just an emoji or a thanks, right?
Interact.
Really start to interact and get really thoughtful, ask them a question, tell them why you're thankful as well. What's coming up in your career that you could really use some support on. I think how can your fans take action as well to let them know where you're trying to go and what you're trying to get, because you might be surprised that some of those super fans are that graphic designer or that videographer or that publicist or somebody that really believes in you and, wants to help you. Hopefully in a month or two, we're going to be able to have a guest on. She's a young lady who was a super fan of Miley Cyrus and just kept on, always engaging with her brand and said, hey, I can, bring you value. I really see, here's some recommendations that you could really put into your marketing strategy, yada, 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 and just kept going. And today she's like one of the head of marketing for Miley Cyrus's team. So, at all level, I think it happens.
Yeah.
So you mentioned something else that I really wanted to talk about as well. I think, people, especially when it comes to like the EPK and different things, you gotta have other people talking about you, right? You want to have quotes from media when you're sharing your brand with people and you're sharing that EPK. They want to see that other people, right? Yeah, are interested in you.
Yeah, get
How
your
do you
content.
How do you think people can go about that?
Well, I think it's important to constantly be creating content, capturing, again, good, professional, clear content that really speaks to your brand and what you're trying to accomplish. With social media, publishing, short clips and upcoming performances, or maybe you're just, jamming out in your bedroom for a few minutes. Connect with your audience, have them pique their interest and make them want to know more about you, and then take it from there.
Beautiful. So is there anything else that we didn't touch on yet that you really think that our music entrepreneur community needs to hear today?
You're gonna need money to invest in yourself. So don't try to get everything for free from everybody, because it's not gonna happen. I think it's important to know when to outsource. It's important to know what your strengths are, and then to say, okay, I don't know anything about this area of business. Let me hire somebody that can actually help me. And making those right connections. But yeah, if you can do it all, that means you haven't gone far enough. You're gonna need to start building a team, like we spoke about with Kadar, about building that team, or having the team in your pocket. You're gonna need that. So it's a process, but be ready for it. Think about like if you were becoming a lawyer or a doctor, you're gonna invest in yourself and go to school, you're gonna spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. It doesn't have to be that fast, but approach it the same way. You're investing in your future.
Yeah, and coming up, we've got some really great speakers who are going to be talking all about money, how to get it, where to find it. Because I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, of course I want to invest into my business, but like I ain't got no money, so what do I do? Well, the first thing that you can do is think about credit and business credit and how to be able to leverage that so you can get loans for equipment, for different things that you want to put out there. And it's not impossible. Trust me, if you have bad credit, or maybe you just haven't thought about credit, you don't have enough credit history. We've got, Roman, the CEO of Credit Victory, who's going to be coming on. I was like blown away doing this whole session with him. He taught me so much, and he's also got a company called Funding Victory. So it's going to help you to really break down how to get that money, how to reinvest it into your business. So they've got a lot coming up.
How to spend it properly.
Right, how to spend it properly. Harrison's going to come on later and talk about a really cool tool that he's building as well, using all that data and insights to help you figure out where should I really spend this money? Because I think you guys probably hear so many artists who like just throwing it out there, like, oh, this playlisting company said they can blow me up. This publicist said she could do the world and have me, on the cover of Forbes magazine, and you realize that it's huge waste. So Harrison's really helping to take that data, take that information, break it down for you in a way that's really going to make sense and help you utilize your money best. So one last thought from you. What do you think?
For any person that's entering the music industry, I understand it takes money to make money. You know what I mean? I understand you want your millions, but it's going to take you 50,000 to break one record, 30. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go about it correctly.
Yeah.
But
so you might want to keep that day job.
So yeah, just find different ways to allocate money just for your hustle, your business, whatever you do, and do it with a smile. People will gravitate toward it.
That's
it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for
having
hopping
us,
in
Rachel.
here. And as we get everything set up, and we've got all these different camera angles, and hopefully everyone can hear us clearly. Thank you so much for your patience.
Shout out to
Again,
Mecon. Make sure you guys are sharing.
Coming, and they're going to come back. So it's not over for Keanu Williams and DJ FMI. So how we doing over here?
Good, good, good.
Let's check
So
in with my little
what is the
coworker
video?
here. Getting set up.
What is the video that we're going to be sharing with us?
So first we're gonna share Ariana. So I'm sorry, Ariane. Ariane Paras, again, has been working in the music industry internationally, producing tons of shows, artists, and really saw that, you know, people were stressed out. And this can be a really stressful environment, but there's a way to really find that balance and you know, just have peace of mind in this business. Ariane, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Econ. How are you today?
All right, so this is, you want to give them a little bit more about how this is gonna play out?
Oh, so this is how to create that unstoppable mindset. That's what we need, and that's what Ariane's going to give you. So, Olympia Coaching, thank you so much for being here with us.
Ooh, very nice. All right, cool. Shall we?
The video will be Jill.
Very good, very excited to see you again and to be here.
Yeah, so great to have you. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Barcelona in Spain.
Yeah. One of my favorite cities. I'm so jealous. I can't wait to get back there. You know, we've been having some amazing conversations, and I've been following your brand, Olympia Coaching, for some time. I love getting your newsletters. They're always so inspirational and motivational, and also just such a good reminder that, you know, no matter who we are, where we are in our careers, sometimes we battle with, you know, just our mindset. We're constantly pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, trying new things, doing new things, wanting to get further in our career and in places we've never been before. And that can really mess with us and sometimes mess with our confidence. And it's just so important to have, you know, a community around that. And so we're here talking about how to create an unstoppable mindset. I'd love to know, you know, take us back a little bit to your days, you know, working in the music industry, you know, running all these shows, seeing everything behind the scenes, what artists were going through. Why did you make this transition?
Yeah, so music was my first love. So I worked in the industry for about 15 years at labels, and then I was the booker for a 5,000 capacity venue, booking headline acts as well as emerging acts. And of course, when you are behind the scenes and you work in nightlife, you can see people running into all sorts of trouble with mainly a lack of balance. And sometimes it's hard as well to keep your confidence high when your career goes through these highs and lows. That is the nature of an artistic career. And in parallel, I started to become really fascinated about personal development for my own sake. And as you get into these sorts of topics, you realize, oh my God, everything that I'm learning is so useful. These are really essential life skills. And I really wanted to share what I was learning with those people that I love so much and with artists, because I personally cannot live without music. So I feel I owe so much to musicians and artists. And I want to contribute in that way and help people thrive and be happy and fulfilled. So I trained as a life coach, and I'm a life and career coach for artists and music professionals. And essentially, I help them find direction, find clarity, confidence, and really overcome what holds them back so that they can achieve their full potential and get to the next stage in their careers.
So I see it, in your newsletters and stuff talking about self-limiting beliefs. Can you tell us a little bit more of like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so self-limiting beliefs means that we all have beliefs. So this is why it's so important to talk about mindset and to work on your mindset. And mindset is something that has to be worked on constantly, not just once. As you go throughout your career, you will always find mindset blocks. So it's important to talk about beliefs because beliefs are at the root of everything else. Because you have a belief that in turn is going to become a thought. And a thought, even though you cannot see it, you cannot feel it, it's a real thing. It has an energy and it will shape how you feel, the actions that you take, your behaviors, and that in turn will create your results. So if you want to have different results, you need to go back to the root, which are your beliefs. And quite often we have beliefs without even knowing we are limiting ourselves. This is why we call them limiting beliefs. So every time you think something like, I can't do this, I don't have what it takes, or I'm too old, or this is the only way, this can work, you're realizing that, oh, I'm already limiting myself by saying those things and believing that. But the truth is, we live in this infinite universe, and in reality, there is an infinite amount of possibilities. So we want to rewire the way we look at things and not see things in a limited way, and instead ask yourself, get into the habit of asking yourself, what is possible? And if everything is possible, then what is the right next action that I can take that will get me closer to my goals? Mm-hmm. So it's important to realize where we are limiting ourselves unnecessarily.
And how are you looking at something in particular that's making you say, this isn't possible, right? We all kind of have a different set of glasses on. That's usually, the kind of like visual that I like to give people. And we're looking at the world through a certain lens based on our stories, based on what our parents told us, based on what our friends told us, right? Especially in the music industry, a lot of times, whether you're an artist or even working as an executive, right? I started my company when I was in 2015, when people were like, the music industry is dead, like, why would you step into music? That's crazy. And so we start to absorb those things, like, maybe I am crazy. Maybe this isn't possible. And then I start seeing things as like these big hurdles when, if I just took the glasses off and maybe put a little, another pair on, I would see it much differently.
Absolutely. There is no such thing as a reality out there. Everything, it's like we all live in our own reality. And even then, our own reality is made up, like you said, of past stories. There's a lot of conditioning, a lot of patterns, a lot of things that are not even ours, that we took on and that we accumulated over the years. And it's funny because I just had a session with a client today, and he's 35 and he's got a day job. He's always done music as well. And now he wants to focus more on his music. And as he started to reach out to more musicians and so on, he started to get to absorb this story that music is something that you do when you're young, when you're 20, and you go out for your music dream, and then maybe it's going to work out, maybe it won't. And then you kind of come back and you start to have this day job and you say no to your music dream. So he's doing it in the opposite way. And I was trying to show him how that's a great thing, and that his journey is entirely unique, and that the story that in order to be a musician, you need to be 20, it doesn't make any sense, right? It's not even your story to take on in the first place.
Mm-hmm. So, when we talk about changing someone's mindset, right, and helping them really develop that unstoppable mindset, where do we start?
So let's start with, for example, the growth mindset. So the growth mindset is recognizing that you are here to grow, you are here to learn, you never want to stop learning. And instead of wanting to stay safe and comfortable, you're here to grow. So that means you're here to take risks. You want to be taking action that may not feel super comfortable, like promoting yourself, And you have to be okay with being willing to take those risks, to be vulnerable, and to be here for the journey rather than having a safe mode of operating and staying small because you're scared of rejection and things like that. So start with this attitude of, I'm here to grow and to learn, and I'm here to experiment, and it's okay if I make mistakes.
Okay. And when you start working with clients, at the beginning, like, are there any particular exercises or things that you like them to, run through to really check in and figure out, like, what is my mindset? Do I even know where I'm starting from?
Mm-hmm. So it's a very organic process. One thing that we always work on is working on what you can call the inner critic. It's this voice that we all have. So this inner dialogue. Huh?
I said,
yes.
Oh yeah, don't we?
Yes.
Mine's
so
like
we are
rapid even right now.
exactly. So we all have it. It's okay. And it's this voice, it's this self-talk that can sometimes be very negative and very critical and judgmental.
Yeah.
So it's something, again, like that we all have. It's okay to have it. However, it's not okay to let it run the show. So the first step is to recognize, to be aware of this voice, because quite often it runs around in the background and you don't even notice it, but it has a real impact in how you feel, in the actions that you will take. So one common thing that the way this voice shows up, one common way it sounds is thinking that you are not good enough. This is a universal belief that can pop up of you're not good enough or your music is not good enough. So you have to first recognize this voice and recognize any of those fears or blocks that you may have, and being willing to face them. So repressing them, ignoring them doesn't work. So when I work with clients, we go through a whole process to let this voice have its say, let it express itself, and then find ways to integrate it with compassion, with love, so it becomes less powerful. And so you can take back the lead, because you want to be your inner leader and not let the voice be the one that has the stronger say, because this voice can be very, very loud.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I was talking to a friend about something like this recently, right? And he started working with the therapist and whatnot. And I think just, working through some of that, just like negative self-talk. And he said, so now when that pops up, I just welcome it. And I say, hey, pull up a chair and make yourself comfortable. Like you're not going anywhere. All right, great. But I can kind of separate myself from that, right? And so having that imagery, I was like, wow, that's really powerful. And I caught myself doing that the other day. I'm sitting here, I'm doing yoga, yay, trying to be all like, woo-woo and positive for my day. And these negative things started popping up. And I thought, you know what, instead of me now badgering myself, because I'm badgering myself, I'm just gonna let it pull up a chair. Hey, pull up a mat next to me and do what you need to do. And it was just so much easier to, to really, I don't know, create that separation.
Absolutely. This is a great way to do this, is to start to disidentify from this voice, because this voice is not you. So just because you have the thoughts, first of all, it doesn't mean it's real. It doesn't mean it's true. And it's not you, it's just the thoughts. So the real you is the awareness behind the thoughts. So you want to, again, like you said, you observe the thought, maybe you acknowledge its presence, maybe you can even enter in a conversation with it. But I think one thing that can be helpful for the people watching is to give reassurance to these fearful thoughts. So give it reassurance, say, it's okay, I'm handling this, don't worry, we're not going to die here, I'm just trying to put a song out, it's not the end of the world. And really, ask yourself, is this thought true? Is this thought helpful? And if not, then take back the lead and decide that you're not going to let that thought run away with its fearful thinking.
Yeah, and I think that's such an important thing to bring awareness to is fear. Again, I mean, being entrepreneurs, having a public brand means that you're putting yourself in a pretty vulnerable spot, right? You're putting music out there, you're putting content out there. You know the trolls are gonna come with some negative comments, like that stuff. And so I think that it's just so important to, not let your fears define you, but let them educate you and know that it's a part of all of our journeys. And if we're going to continue to grow, it's probably always going to be there. And again, to not allow ourselves to beat ourselves up because of that.
Absolutely. And in fact, for your audience, if you are watching this talk right now, if you have registered to the MeCon conference, it means that you've answered the call to the hero's journey. And not everyone answers that call. So first of all, it means you are really courageous and you can give yourself a pat on the back for even being on this creative entrepreneurship journey, because it's not easy and it's for the heroes, right? So the hero and the heroine, as they go on this journey, they will face all these trials and tribulations, and all your fears will come up and all your blocks will come up. And on the way, you will also find assistants like this conference and guides. And in order to reach the final destination, which is the success that you want, you will have to face what is called the final battle. And this final battle is with yourself. Because that means that you cannot reach the other side. You cannot reach the success that you want being the same person as you were when you started, right? You have to go through this process of inner transformation. And this is where actually the gold lies. It's all about this process of inner transformation. So it's okay to have fear. They will come up as you go on through this journey. And it's a really positive thing, because as they come up, this is where you can heal them. You can heal those fears, you can overcome them and become even stronger and reach even more of your potential.
Mm-hmm. And know that we're going to take 2 steps forward and sometimes 1 step back and then another 2 steps forward and then maybe a few back. And, so it's really just always going to be this kind of ebb and flow. I mean, I even find myself still, I wake up in the morning, okay, I'm thinking about all these things that I have to do and everything that's going on and all the people that are relying on me or whatever it is. And so I have really gotten myself into habits, right? Mindset habits. I get up, I go for a walk, I get out in the sunshine, get into nature, do that. When I get in the shower, I'm playing YouTube, some kind of motivational video. I need some Tony Robbins in my life or somebody. And this is just an ongoing thing, for me. So it takes a lot. There probably are some people who really master this, but I imagine even for you as a life coach doing these things, you may need your own life coach at times.
100%. As I said, what you said, progress is not linear. It's not like we're always progressing and getting better. There's back and forth. It's not a linear process. And suddenly you make this big quantum jump and suddenly you are at a different place. But every time the fears come back up, it means you get to work with them on a deeper level. And so that's why it's mindset. We all need to work on a mindset, me included, maybe me the first one. This is why I became a life coach. And finding the tools that work for you, like working in nature, moving your body for sure, learning to breathe properly. I also watch a lot of videos that are inspiring and motivating, because I feel like I really get this energy transfer. Even though it's a YouTube video, I get a real transfer of energy of the person that speaks, and I get to integrate that in my own body. So I find it's really helpful. Mm-hmm. And another thing to to remember when you go through these lows and these setbacks is to remember your why, remember your purpose. And I love working with clients on that because I really believe that we all come to this earth with a specific mission, a specific purpose. And your purpose is the bigger reason why you do this. So what is the thing that is bigger than you, that is wanting to be manifested and channeled through you? And I think it's really important to know what your purpose is, because it's what drives you, and also it's your anchor. It's what keeps you determined and resilient when things get tough. It's what helps you stay the course. And it's really the remembrance of that there is something way bigger than you that is wanting to be expressed. So in a way, you're like, okay, well, I need to go through this setback, or I need to face my fears, because it's about me, but it's also not about me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And I think with that as well is, where you're trying to go. If you've really identified that people that are living in a negative space because maybe they just again, they haven't shown up for themselves yet. And one of the most important things that I learned along the way is that I am the 5 people I spend the most time with, right? So here I am working with you, working on myself, doing all of this, doing all of that. But then the rest of my day, I'm listening to negative news. I'm surrounding myself with negative people. I'm, embracing these like ego-driven conversations. And so really if you really want to drive this stuff home, you really want that unstoppable mindset. Also, you might have to cut some people out of your life, or decide, who you want to spend your time with. Do they have that mindset? Are they helping to propel you forward or bring you back? Have you had many conversations with some of your clients around that?
Not really about other people, but I totally agree with you that we have to be very discerning into what information and energy we let in through our eyes, through our ears. So be very discerning about creating this environment, like you said, that is supportive, that is positive. So of course, if you expose yourself to the mainstream media news all day long, you're not going to feel very positive. You're not going to feel very empowered. And if you're surrounded by people who don't like their jobs, who are negative, who live in lack, then they're going to bring you down as well. So maybe it's not a question of like cutting everyone out of your life, but be very mindful of who you want to spend more time with, what kind of content you want to feed yourself more with. So curate your Instagram feed, be mindful of what content you consume on YouTube and so on. I personally love finding inspiration with people who are at a much higher level than me in all sorts of ways, in business, in spirituality, because I get to learn so much from them, and I get to get this new energy and this bigger vision thanks to them. So it's what we call the people who can expand you. So it's not about comparing yourself, but it's about thinking, oh wow, if it's possible for them, some of it is possible for me as well. And how can I let them expand me and expand what's possible for me? And then, maybe cut some ties or be mindful in the same way that you want to be very discerning with your own thoughts. And I like to say, like, be your own A&R. So when the thoughts come up, don't just take them all in if they're rooted in fear or in self-limiting beliefs. Then decide not to let that thought become an action or become a feeling. And the same, like you said, with people. If you're surrounded by negative people, maybe you want to spend less time with them.
Yeah. So there's so much information that we really have to share, and we wanted to just kind of scratch the surface in some of this stuff and really set the stage. In January, we're going to be hosting a whole workshop around this, and then Ariane's graciously offered to even do some long-term mastermind classes, all of that. But we really need to know who you are, what your goals are. So make sure that you're filling out the artist profile. That's going to be on our website, so we can really get more information from you. You're going to be able to go to the services area as well and sign up for that workshop. So you'll see lots of information coming right after this conference. But Ariane, if people want to work with you now, where can they go? How can they sign up? Again, your newsletter is, so informational. So I really just suggest that everyone sign up on that as well.
Yeah, they can go onto my website. So it's olympiacoaching.com. Olympia is OLYMPIA coaching.com. And I've got a bunch of free resources on my website that you can sign up for, including my newsletter. And I also offer free consultations. So you can just hop on the phone with me. We can discuss where you're at, and we can talk about how I may be able to support you. And I would love, love, love to hear from you and help you become the best that you can be and have the success that you deserve in this industry.
Amazing. Well, thank you for all that you do. I know this is, really a kind of new thing that's popping up in the music industry. I know when I stepped into the music industry, because I came from more of the personal development world and the coaching world, and I thought, wait, we're talking all about this entrepreneurship, but where's the support system? Where are the coaches? So I think it's so cool what you're doing. Really look forward to working with you more. And thanks again for your time and for being here with us.
Me too. It was a real pleasure. And I have to say, I love you. So I love your energy and everything that you've achieved. It's a real inspiration for me as well.
I so appreciate that, because I tell you that negative self-critic is like, what are you doing this conference for? Who's going to listen to you? What's going on, right? So I really appreciate the feedback. That's amazing. Well, we'll see you again in January, and then we'll take it from there.
Great.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sound is on now, but I want to know tell me a little bit about the lagging. That's what I want to fix. The sound is on now, I know that. Thank you, sir. I think we're good. Guys, give me a thumbs up if you hear the audio, if you see if you think this camera is a little less laggy. Good to go now?
All right, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think we're good now.
224 Media Group. We got to know more about you. Who is this infamous person? I love all the comments here, and yeah, it's great that the music industry is really focused on mental health. There are definitely a lot of people who have mental health disorders, and then there's also people who are just really stressed out because, again, we're not taught about building businesses and managing and growing finances, and let alone how to partner that in the music industry. And so for us, our way to really step into that was to also bring this conference, bring this event, so we can help you to be able to do that and really build that long-term career. Because at least if we can have some stability in our lives, that helps just lessen the heartache. So tell us your story. They gotta hear. They don't know a lot about your background.
No, I'm not gonna get into the story right now. That's for later. But I will say I'm very glad and happy to see that it looks like the video is a little better now. Like the setup is good, guys. Thank you. This little change up was good. The sound seems to be a little bit more upfront. And yeah, we just wanted to make sure that, listen, we had to do a whole new revamp of how we were going to do this last minute with new laptop. That's another story. But we're good now. It looks good. And but listen, I think that she hit it on the nail. I mean, there's so many gems in that conversation. The reality of it is that, the law of attraction is very simple. What you put out there, you're going to get back. It's like a magnet. And so whether you believe in it or not, it doesn't matter. You probably don't believe in gravity, but it works, right? You don't even know how electricity works, but you use it. So it doesn't matter whether you believe the law of attraction or not. It is a law of nature. It is there just like everything that has to do with, the way that water flows, water freezes, water becomes gas. There's so many different things that beautiful thing called water does. We can't understand it. It is what it is, right? So the law of attraction is very simple. When in your mindset, when you in your mindset believe or say, by the way, words have power. So if you say I can't, that is correct. If you say I can, that is correct also. So anything that you put out there, it is 100% correct. The universe or God or Yoda or Buddha, you call it whatever you want. You can use whatever excuse you want to use. Like, well, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Yoda. I don't believe in Buddha. It doesn't matter what you believe in. It is going to be in your life. Because the fact is that you, my friend, listening to this, you are this tiny little thing on top of a gigantic rock spinning 66,000 miles an hour around the sun, which is 93 million miles away from
He's a cosmologist.
From the sun, right? And we're just spinning around it, and then that's spinning around something else. So we are just little beings, in this planet. And so the bottom line is that there's cosmic divine things that are happening that are beyond our understanding as of right now. So that being said, the law of attraction is extremely important. I will say one thing that I'm going to add something to what she said. And this is a very important thing. I said that words have power. So I'm going to say one thing that I bet you never thought about, all right? The word hope, right? You've heard me say this before. Mm-hmm. The word hope, and I'm going to be controversial now, just in the first phrase I'm going to say, the word hope is a lie. Now, I know you're thinking, like, what do you mean? That's like, blah, blah. Listen, let me rephrase that. The word hope is not that it's a bad thing. It is that it is meant to be a gift. It is not meant to be for you. The moment that you say, I hope I get a job, I hope I get more money, I hope, the universe says, no problem. Let me give you more stuff to hope for. And you keep getting hope and hope and hope, and it never comes because you are hoping. You're not thinking that it's going to happen. You're hoping. Basically, hope is a wish. But when you say to somebody else, hey, I hope for you, see, it's a gift. It is meant to be given. So stop using the word hope. I hope there's no traffic. What do you think is going to happen? So that is a key thing with the law of attraction. You got to know. It's got to be in there. The moment that someone gave me the book that changed my life, that one moment, 3 weeks later, I was hosting the world launch of the Xbox for Microsoft. And here I am 20 years later at Microsoft doing incredible stuff and having a whole lot of fun. And for the last 19, 20 years, all I've done, I don't even know what a job is, honestly. I don't know what a job is. All I've ever done is have fun and do what I love. I don't know anything else. I know how to be creative. And by the way, yes, the first few years of my career, my family thought I was crazy. I know. That happens to all of us. But I promise you. They think, remember what they said? One of my family members just said that I'm, what? What was it that Patty said?
You're obsessive compulsive.
No.
And a little autistic, maybe.
There you go. All of those. And I am probably all of those things, but so is every artist because we love to just hone in on our craft and we love to do what we love. So anyway, that being said, enough of that. We'll get back into that. Remember, the Music Entrepreneur Conference is more about the mindset than anything else because the journey of, I call it entrepreneurship. So the journey of entrepreneurship is not easy. It is very tough. So I hashtag that, by the way, and tag me on it because you know that's my thing. So, and if you make a t-shirt, I better get a percentage. NFT it, let me know. Anyway.
All about the IP over here.
That's it.
It's all about the IP.
That's it. All right. So that being said, all I want to say to you now is focus on the outcome. I will leave you the last thing I'm going to say about this. I'm going to say one last thing. Focus on the outcome. When I begin to go to auditions, you know what I begin to do? This is a little trick. I'm about to give y'all this is like manifesting 101. If you've ever heard of manifesting, this is it. You ready? Take notes. Let me know. I want to read on the comments that you get it. All right? Manifesting 101. I used to go to auditions, right? Thankfully, I don't got to do that anymore. People call me and offer me. See how that works? Anyway, I used to go to auditions. I would go to the door of the audition, and this is what I would do. Now, remember, none of us know what's going to happen once you walk through those doors, right? They could ask you to be a fraud, for all you know. And you better be a damn good fraud, because that's what they're looking for, right? So you don't know what's going to happen in there. So you can't be thinking, oh, gosh, please, I hope, I wish that I'm going to do good. No, that's not going to work. The only thing that I used to do is very simple. Ready? I used to sit in front of the door. I used to look at the door, and then I would visualize that door. I would close my eyes and open my mind. I would close my eyes, and I would visualize the same door, walking out of that door, calling my mom, saying, Mom, I got it. Because the only thing I could visualize was that door and me walking out with a feeling of happiness and joy, believing and knowing in my heart that this was mine. So I would just visualize, look at the door, walk out in my mind, calling my mom. Some of you will call mom, some of you will call girlfriend or boyfriend or both, who knows? And the idea is very simple, that you are now visualizing and putting yourself and telling the universe, this is the outcome that my soul desires. And then every single time I would get the audition. And again, it was just, of course, you got to go in there and kick butt, right? You got to be prepared for the opportunity. You can't suck ass, all right? So you got to be prepared for the opportunity. But the reality of it is that it starts in the mind and then the rest of it happens later. You know, this thing, look, a phone, a laptop, whatever it is you're holding in your hand, all of it began as a single thought, and eventually it became, you know, something, right? So that being said, I think that what we're gonna do next is go to the next.
Yeah, so now we've got the queen of mindset, we got the king of mindset over here. Trust me, this one keeps me motivated, keeps me pushing along. You know, just reminds me of that when I'm having an occasional
I did want
day.
to say one more thing before we go into this next talk, and that is that the reason why we always begin to talk with mindset and talking about these type of things is because, to be honest with you, everything else is irrelevant. See, you're going to meet a lot of people with a lot of talent. There's people with talent everywhere, right? But there are certain things that success just doesn't discriminate. You see, if you don't have the right mindset, and you don't have the right attitude, and you don't have the right character, and you don't have the right ability to engulf and enroll people into your vision, and also to prepare yourself for what's next, then it doesn't matter how talented you are, it's just not going to work. So this is why we always talk about this, and I think that this is why it's important to start with these first talks about the mindset, and then there's a lot of stuff that we're going to cover, but including, I mean, we even have a bank for you. We have an actual bank for musicians.
Made just for artists.
Yes,
I've been waiting for this.
We're about to announce this today. It is phenomenal. You will be able to download the app today, and you'll be able to get your first bank account on this application. And by the way, get all your royalty money right to your bank card.
And the other app, and amazing technology, again, we're going to be dropping, you know, a bunch of cool, new, innovative tools that are going to help you make more money, save more money, all of that. And we couldn't do this whole event without a very special one that is going to be launching probably Q2 of next year. You can head over to their website right now if you want to get on the waiting list and learn more. But this is Coda Music. So Randy Fusey is the CEO, founder of Coda Music. You're going to get to meet him later. Coda is a streaming company. Imagine this, a streaming company that was made for artists. Get out of here. A streaming company that's actually not going to pay you just only 0.00000 whatever 8 cents per stream. They're going to help you actually create a full-time income with a very minimal fan base. So this is streaming and social media all bundled into one, taken to the next level. I'm not even doing it justice, so we're going to show you later. But really, really great people, and you know they wanted to support this event because they really stand up for the artists. And when Randy realized what was happening in the music industry and what some of these streaming companies were doing, not naming any names, but I'm sure you're all familiar. You know, he just said, I got to create a new solution for that. So we're going to let you know all about Coda, but thank you again, Coda, for everything that you've done.
But without further ado, Suze.
Now, we got the mindset queen, Suze Polinsky, Redefining the Hustle. You may have heard of the Rockstar Life Planner. She's on about, I think, her 4th edition. You find her at all the major conferences. This woman not only has a degree in music, has worked in tons of labels, worked with tons of artists. She's got a master's degree in psychology, now doing another master's degree in social work because she really wants to be able to help to just transform your mindset and get you to the next level. So Suze is going to be taking you through this whole process of how to plan for the next year ahead. She's also got a really cool event coming up called Planchella. If you go to our website, musicentrepreneurconference.com, click on the menu, and you're going to click on programs and services. You'll see some things that we're going to be launching. They're not live yet, but you will see 2 links to Planchella and also to a downloadable workshop that you want to get right now because it's going to go along with Suze's workshop that we're going to get into.
I'm not going to front. Planchella.
Planchella. We're going to get you planned up. So let's do this and help you redefine your hustle.
We're going to
all need to hustle smarter. Right? Let's do that.
All right.
Hustle smarter, not harder. So here we go.
Rockstar Advocate, and I want to thank you so much for giving me your time and attention right now. I promise to make it worthwhile. Welcome to the Music Entrepreneur Conference, and I want to thank Jalen, Rachel, and the entire World Artists United team for having me here today. As I said, my name is Suze, and as a mindset and productivity coach, I've just entered my 20th year in the music industry, and in addition to my master's in psychology, I am just finishing up my master's in social work, which makes me fairly equipped to break down some of the mindset shifts that can really help you do more with less. So listen up, all right? We are going to redefine your hustle today. Now, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to say. So if you're distracted, or you're on your phone, or you're checking emails, put it down for one moment, and if you take anything away from today, I want you to truly take this into your mind and digest it. All right, you ready? Your dreams aren't too big or wrong. You're just bad at basic math. Okay? And I'm going to explain that in the next little while or so while we're here today to explain what I mean. All right, so hold tight. If you've got access to the downloadable workbook that I made, take that out now. If you don't have it or you'd like it later, simply DM me on Instagram. I'll give you my contact info at the end of today's session, and I'm happy to send you that. I'll send you the slides, whatever you'd like. I'm happy to share that all with you today. So first I want to get into what the real problem is here. All right. Why do musicians and music professionals get tired, burn out? What keeps them from reaching their goals? Well, in my 20 years in this industry, after starting at the major labels and burning out in my mid-20s, and after learning how to live with a chronic illness, I can tell you from direct experience, as well as all of my clients and peers that I work with, I can tell you from our collective experience that the real problem is musicians and music professionals spin their wheels working round the clock. Is any of this sounding familiar yet? To achieve their goals only to be paralyzed by overwhelm and then eventually burnout. Okay? Is any of that resonating with you? I'm sure it sounds and feels familiar to many of you here today. So we're going to work on solving that, okay? I have found that the solution is not to push harder. I know that is the instinct. I know that is what we instinctively do immediately when we feel like we're not getting there fast enough or getting to the right goal. We push harder or we toughen up, right? This isn't for the faint of heart. This is the music industry. We got to toughen up, have that thick skin. But the real solution is to redefine what true hustle is, and it's personal for everyone. Just like the way we define success, it's different and looks and feels different for each and every one of you. So we need to redefine what true hustle is for us individually and work smarter by leading with clarity around our goals and leveraging the resources we already have to get more done in less time and with less stress. All right. If you're still with me, if you're feeling that, if you want to learn how to do that, you are in the right place. So here are the basic 3 steps that can really lead to redefining your hustle. Okay. Step 1, get clear on what it is you want, not what you think you should want. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that pesky comparison paralysis, okay? That thing that we say to ourselves when we set a goal, but then we go on Instagram and we see what other musicians are doing or other professionals are doing. And we think, oh, maybe I should be focusing on that. Or, oh, they're killing it on YouTube. I was going to start an audio podcast, but maybe I need to be focusing on YouTube. Oh, that person just got signed to a label. Maybe that's what I should be doing. Oh, sync licensing. Somebody said they just made 6 figures with that. So that's what I should be doing. Right? No, what do you want? Start there. Don't ride the coattails of somebody else's dreams. Don't follow what somebody else is doing because it worked for them. It could work for you, even if you followed what they did to a T, and even if it did work out just the way it worked out for them, which is unlikely. But even if that were the case, if it's not what you want, none of that matters. And that's why we burn out. That's why we end up hating what we do, and we become masochists, right? We want to love what we do. We want to feel inspired. We want to feel pumped up. It depletes our energy when we are not in alignment with our desires and our needs. Okay? Step 2 is to get a pen and paper and map everything out. List it, mind dump it, mind map it. Everything that takes up space in your life, not just your career. Okay? So often we plan and we just think about what our goals are for our careers, and okay, I got this, that, and this to do. All right, I'll do it tomorrow. And we're not taking into consideration, oh, I have other responsibilities outside my career, right? We get caught up in the planning and in the chasing the goals. So this is where that math comes in, okay? That basic math that trips us all up. We think we have 24 hours in a day, right? We've been told that our whole lives, right? The sky is blue and you have 24 hours in a day. But we don't have 24 hours in a day. And we certainly don't have the same 24 hours as Beyonce. Don't even get me started on that. That could be a whole presentation in and of itself. You do not have the same 24 hours as other people with other means, okay? And stop thinking in 24, okay? 8 are used for sleeping, and even if you're not sleeping, you should certainly not be working. All right? Take away all the things that, need to get done. Laundry, dishes, grocery food shopping, going to the bathroom, eating at some point, walking your dog, driving to and from wherever you need to go, taking public transportation. All that stuff takes time. All right? So let's just say generously we have 8 hours, right? An 8-hour workday. Well, it's not really 8 hours of pure focused work. At best, okay, at best, we have 4 hours every day to make an impact. Okay? When we take away the distractions, when we take away life happening, meaning meetings running late, getting stuck in traffic, not feeling well, having tech issues, all of that stuff takes up time that we don't plan for. So we have to shift the way we think. Think in 4-hour days, not 24-hour days. It will completely change your life. Just this one thing. If you do one thing, learn one lesson from this, think in 4 hours, not 24, and it will be a game changer, I guarantee you. Now, step 3 is to set boundaries around your time, energy, and resources. And most importantly, it's not just important to set the boundaries. What's most important is to honor the boundaries in order to have freedom to reach your goals on your terms. Now, many of you are sitting there thinking, I've got kids, I've got a day job, I'm in a band, and I'm responsible and tied to other people's commitments. I can't just set boundaries and make declarations and do whatever it is I want to do. You have more control than you think. And the funny thing is, the ways we think we have control, we don't. Like, we think we can control our day. We can't. We think we can't control our boundaries and our limitations and what we say yes or no to, but we actually can. So that's another kind of shift that needs to happen. How many hours we have in our day and what we truly have control over. when people say, well, you don't have as much control as you think, and then we say, oh my goodness, well, I don't have any control. That's not true. You don't have as much control as you think in the places you think you have it, but you actually have more control in the places that you assume you don't have it. All right? So think about that. Really think about the areas of your life where you've kind of given up control, but you can really take it back. And then think about the areas in your life where you assume you have control, or you like to think you have control, but you don't have control, right? Like what you're getting your kids for Christmas. You don't really have control over that, right? You're going to take one look at their faces and you're going to figure out how to get them what they want. They control that, but you also control more than you think you do when it comes to how and when you spend your time and energy. Parkinson's law. Okay? Don't fret that you only have 4 hours in the day at best to work towards your dreams and achieve your goals, because our guy Parkinson has your back. All right? Parkinson's law teaches us this, okay? It has nothing to do with Parkinson's disease. Two separate things here. Parkinson's law tells us work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Again, we're going back to that math part that a lot of us get tripped up on. Now, think of a tube of toothpaste, okay? When you get a brand new tube of toothpaste, you're putting that big fat wad of toothpaste on your toothbrush, just like they show you in the Crest commercials. But then when you get really down to the itty bitty bit of it before you throw that tube of toothpaste out, you're squeezing the last bit of toothpaste, and you're still going to brush your teeth, and you're still going to achieve your goal of having a clean mouth. You don't have that wad of toothpaste. You didn't need the wad of toothpaste. You just needed enough toothpaste, okay? You just need enough time to get things done. So rather than say, I'm going to do a blog post by the end of the week, no, decide when you're going to do the blog post and give yourself 20 to 30 minutes to do it. Now, when you first try this, you're going to get stuck with writer's block. You're going to procrastinate. That 20 or 30 minutes is going to be up and you're going to say, I still don't have this blog post done. But you're going to train yourself. This is part of the discipline. Work with Parkinson's law, work with timers. Give yourself less time and focus on what matters. I see new parents all the time, brand new parents who don't get any sleep, and yet they manage to, I've seen parents who go back to school, who are gaining promotions and killing it at their job. It's difficult, but when they're juggling kids and work and all this stuff, maybe they don't see their friends as much for that period of time, but guess what? It becomes real clear to them real fast, out of necessity, what is the most important stuff to do. I watched my mom go back to college when I was 3 years old. She finished her degree. She worked a full-time job. She looked after me and my brother. She got it done. Why? Because she didn't work 24/7 and never sleep, or else she wouldn't be able to function. That's not sustainable. But she didn't waste time. We waste so much time. But when we limit the time we have, when we think in 4 hours, you're wasting time, because in the back of your brain, there's 24 hours. I have 24 hours. And then the day is up, and your list of 20 things to get done in those 24 hours, you get 2 things done, and you feel like crap, and you feel like a failure. Think in 4-hour days. Get 4 hours of focused, intentional work done. It doesn't have to be all in a row, but get the summation of 4 hours of focused work done in a day. Get the 3 major, most important things, or 1 gigantic important thing done that day, and you will feel like a winner. Now you're going into the next day feeling like a winner because you are. You're doing what needs to get done. We fill our days with white noise and stuff that does not need to get done. Think about Parkinson's law and not only limit the time you have, but think about if I only have this much time, you're going to start to be able to pick out on your list the most important and urgent things on that list. You're going to stop getting all consumed by all the white noise that's out there. So here's mistake number 1. All right, here are the biggest mistakes I see happen when planning or scheduling tasks. Number 1 is we don't break our goals down enough to truly see all the pieces. And in not doing that, we're not able to set realistic deadlines or even understand what our next steps are. So if you say, I'm building a YouTube channel, or I'm going to post a YouTube video, what does that mean? And so we put it off and we put it off and we put it off because our brain can't digest vagueness. It runs from vagueness. Animals run when they don't know what's in front of them. And so we mentally run and energetically run from things on our list that are too vague. And when they're bigger and we haven't broken them down, again, we give ourselves these bigger deadlines and more far out deadlines, and we're not thinking about Parkinson's law. You want to give yourself shorter deadlines, less time to get things done. But you also want to break down your tasks into what I call micro tasks so that you can really see what exactly is coming next. It's like putting on the lights when you walk into a dark room. Doesn't matter how much furniture or obstacles might be in your way, if you can see to the other side of that room, you know what your next literally your next step is going to be because you can see it. So break that vague stuff down on your list. If you're sitting there just stumped, it means you haven't broken it down quite enough. And mistake number 2. Now, again, if you're distracted right now, put the phones down, close out the other tabs, listen up. Okay, this might be the most important thing I say. I know I've already said that 3 times, but really this is super important. Mistake number 2 is we plan for the best and expect the worst when we need to plan for the worst and expect the best. Now here's what I mean by that. Again, going back to we think in 24 hours. We plan as if we can control our day. Let me know if this sounds familiar to you. You're thinking about tomorrow. You're feeling good. You're feeling pumped about tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna get sleep. I want this really badly, so I'm gonna wake up super pumped tomorrow, and I'm gonna get A, B, and C done before the sun comes up. Then I'm gonna have a great breakfast. I'm gonna do this and do that. It only takes me 20 minutes to get to work, so I'm gonna give myself 25 minutes. And just in case, and then I'm going to get to work and right? And then your alarm goes off. You are exhausted. You might want what you want, but your body is like, I did not get to rest enough. So now you start the morning groggy. You're going a little slow. You're not doing anything before the sun rises. Now you're already like, oh, I overslept. You didn't oversleep. You got the sleep you needed. but you feel like you overslept, so you're already starting out the day feeling like a jerk. Then you give yourself 25 minutes to do a 20-minute commute when really there's traffic or there was an accident on the road or the train, needed to stop or got stuck at a station, and it really took you 40 minutes to get to work. Then a meeting ran late, then this, that, and the other thing. You come home, you're exhausted. Not just because of the things that should actually exhaust you, but because of all the tenseness and the frustration and the annoyance at yourself and at the world. We need to plan in worst case scenarios. If you think in 4-hour days, you look at your schedule and say, okay, 20-minute commute. Let's face it, it's going to be a 40 to 45-minute commute. Let me buffer out my travel time. Get that on the calendar. I want to wake up early tomorrow. I'm going to do my best. But the last 3 days, I really haven't been. I've had a lot on my plate. My body is feeling it. You know what? I'm going to aim for 7 a.m., not 5 a.m., and I'm going to do the best I can. And while I'm eating breakfast, I'm going to listen to a podcast episode that I've been wanting to listen to and try to take that in and have some me time. Or I'm going to take 10 minutes to journal. Okay? But I also know I only have like 20 minutes before I need to be out the door. So maybe I make that journaling time 5 minutes just in case. All right? Because if I'm running late and I think to myself, well, I have to have 10 minutes to journal. No. Be flexible there. Do you have 5 minutes? Do you have 3 minutes? Figure out, this is what working smarter is all about. Figure out where you can navigate the expected probable hurdles that you're going to face. We always expect the worst, right? We apply for a job, or we pitch to get press, or we go to do a performance and we're like, oh my God, this is going to be awful. Oh God, I hope I don't suck. Oh, please let me get through this. I need to get through this, right? We just expect the worst. We need to expect the best. That's going to keep our energy high. It's going to make us feel motivated, because the future can go either way. We don't know what's going to happen. But if we can expect the best, and you'll do that more often when you've realized that you're able to have more time in your day for what matters. When we're able to do that, we say to ourselves, wow, I really did do really well. This was amazing. And our energy is high and we're motivated. So it's a domino effect. Plan for the worst and expect the best. All right? Sit on that. So here are some ways we can redefine our hustle. All right? These are just 3 examples, but the possibilities are endless. I challenge you to use the notes page, the last page in this workbook, to jot down ways that you can redefine your hustle, and feel free to DM me or email me later with your ideas or what you came up with. All right, and I'll give you that information a bit later. So the first way we can do it is say no more often. That's going to allow us to protect our self-care at all costs. Define balance in our lives, just like we define hustle and define success for ourselves. Work-life balance looks different for everyone. How does it look and feel for you? We don't always reach that balance, but it's our guiding light. It's our North Star to help us slow down and be intentional. Because if we know what the ultimate balance looks like for us, we can work at attaining it. Another way is to niche down. Too many of us are out there trying to win everybody over and offer people all the services and all of the things and be every genre of music and apply to every conference or festival out there. Okay, the riches are in the niches, my friends. Turn people off. Turn them off. Get them to say, oh, I don't like you, or that's not my type of music. Good. Get out of my way. All right? And define who you do serve and why you serve them. Okay, there is no I in hustle. So I've given you the steps and the ways you can redefine your hustle. And now here is the structure. Okay, first we start with accountability. This is the exact reason I created my Rockstar Slackers program. To help music entrepreneurs stay committed to and clear on their path. Okay, the American Society of Training and Development found that you have a 65% chance of completing your goal if you have a specific accountability appointment. So if you've got that buddy in mind, all right, first you have a 65% chance of completing your goal if you commit to it, to the universe or to someone specific. And if you have an actual accountability appointment with that person, you will increase your chances of success to up to 95%. It's usually about 40 to 30% chance of completing those New Year resolutions. If you do it by yourself, get an accountability buddy, you have a 65% chance of completing that goal. Make meetings, regular meetings and check-ins with that accountability buddy. You've now raised your chances to 95% of completing that goal and having success. Okay, so get an accountability buddy. If you don't have one, I've got my Rockstar Slackers program developed specifically for this. Okay, it's weekly accountability. And if you can find somebody to do it, if you can find a peer or a friend, somebody that's also working towards something, it will be a game changer. The next thing is systems. Okay, I could go on and on about systems all day long. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. This is what allows you to work smarter. All right, I've got a whole page of these on my website, so feel free to DM me and I'll send you the link to check them all out. Some are free, some are not. Some I'm an affiliate for, some I'm just a major fan of. But the systems allow you to automate, streamline, and improve your client, customer, or fan experience while saving you time, energy, and resources. Okay, and below are just some of the ones that I use on a daily basis, like Canva, Google Drive, Plan to plan out my social media, Shopify, Slack, Honeybook. Those are like my holy grails of running my business. I'd be lost without them. Daily routines. This is the discipline that I was talking about before. The hustle is in the small, consistent steps. Okay, it's not in the go-ness. It's in the small, consistent steps. Find clarity through your daily routine so you can begin to pick up on patterns and take advantage of your productivity rhythm. We all have our own productivity rhythm. And lastly, reflection. It's not just you, it's also about the past and future you in this journey. So work with your past and future self to ensure that you're in alignment and learning from your actions, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, I've created a Rockstar Life Planner. I've been doing this every year since 2016. We just came out with our 2022 Rockstar Life Planner. It's a weekly planner designed specifically for music professionals, anyone in the music industry. I'm giving you guys a special code just for those of you at this conference. It's MEC20. You can put that code in at checkout to get 20% off my planner or the planner bundle, which comes with stickers, monthly tabs, time blocking markers, an end of day notepad for reflection, and more. Okay, so you can use this code till the very end of December or while supplies last. All right, so just something to say thank you all for being here with me and for being passionate about redefining your hustle. Now, before I go, you've got a whole conference ahead of you. So how can you conference hustle? All right, how can you apply this new sense of hustle here today and throughout the rest of this conference? First, stay present. It moves fast, but take notes on what you can, but more importantly, listen, and you will absorb more than you think. Don't get lost in the minutia. Secondly, filter what you learn. Does what's being said apply to you? Maybe I've said something here today that doesn't work for you. That's okay. It's okay to disagree and learn what does work for you. Take the pieces that work for you, and keep moving. And connect on a human level. You're going to have chances to network with a bunch of people, network with each other. Don't come out the gate promoting what you offer. Make a real connection. And you'll have that person in your corner way beyond this event. All right? So ask questions, listen actively, and make your own choices. If you want to keep the redefining going, if you want to plan out your 2022, before I go, I want to invite you to keep redefining your hustle with me for free at this year's Planchella. Okay, it's free for everybody. Feel free to share it with your friends. The link is right there on the slide. It's December 28th to the 30th, 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern, and it takes place in Slack, which is one of my systems that I mentioned. All right, we're going to cover your goals, priorities, and should proof your plan going into 2022. All right. Most importantly, whether you join me at Planchella, whether you get the planner, whether we ever work together or not, that's not what I'm concerned about. I love to connect with fellow creatives. Okay. I want to make sure what I've shared with you today sticks. So connect with me and keep me posted on your progress. Ask me questions, share your wins. Let me know what else you've learned at this conference so I can learn something too. I'm always on Instagram, so find me at Rockstar Advo. You can email me at Suz, S-U-Z, at therockstaradvocate.com. And you can head on over to my site, therockstaradvocate.com, for my planner at /the-shop. You can sign up for Planchella. You can schedule a free call with me to learn more. All that's on my website. You can also DM me on Instagram. I want to thank you all so much for being with me here today. Thank you for your time and attention. Jalen, Rachel, and the rest of the World Artists United team, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the Music Entrepreneur Conference. Yet again, this is such a special event. You all are in for such a treat for the rest of this conference. And I wish you all a wonderful rest of 2021. Thanks so much.
Oh,
All right, we're getting
We
used
were
to
just
this.
testing your
Unmute.
awareness. Yeah, we were testing your
Unmute.
awareness. Making
Yes.
sure you're paying attention, okay? So that being said, what I just said right now was a gem. I just gave you the cure of cancer, and you guys didn't see it. Well, didn't hear it. I mean, no, seriously speaking, I just said that Suz is just the brilliant genius. And wow, what a blessing that she's out there getting degrees left and right, and like giving us back this information. This is just insane, you know. So thank you for allowing me to take that info without having to pay a whole lot of college tuition, which you're doing for me. Thank you. And just really appreciate you. You are truly a special human, and you totally make me feel inefficient. Every time I hear you talk, it's like I'm just not doing enough, and I'm not planning enough. So thank you for that. I really appreciate you. I think we're gonna do something really cool. We're gonna have a special treat. If you don't mind, I'm gonna replace you right now.
I'm out of here. You guys have heard enough from me. We got DJ FMI coming back up. We've got some really amazing guests that we're gonna plug in here, and we've got 2.5 hours left of killer information. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. There's more of that to come, and I'll see you all later.
And as you can see, blah 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 blah. The everything is working a lot better now because I have a super team that was, in the back, just trying to make sure that everything works out. So that being said, I have my man DJ FMI right here. What
What's going on,
up?
brother? How you doing?
Fantastic, man. This is just a treat. Glad to have you with me. And listen, at the end of the day, again, this is just about bringing you as much value as possible. We have incredible, successful people that are doing incredible things in the business. Some are mega stars, some are, people that are just making a living. Some are just people that know the business to the point that they figure out ways, hacks. I want to call them the hacks.
Music hacks or life hacks. Yeah.
Life hacks. Entrepreneur hacks, right? And ways to just really create a better path. Remember, you keep hearing me say that. Path, the GPS, you got to know where you're going. Sue's just talked a little bit about, planning and routines. Of course, you got to know where you're going. You got to plan when you're going somewhere, you always look at what train you're going to take.
You put it in the GPS.
Exactly.
You know where you're going when you start your day. So why wouldn't you do that when it comes to your career? Why wouldn't you do that when it comes to your business?
Oh no, people just think that they're just going to touch.
Someone's just going to throw 30,000 at them, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, because they have the all-star idea.
It's great because that's the one thing that everybody talks about all the time. It's like, I only need the money. Okay, well, what are you going to do with that money?
How do you go to these investors and you're going to tell them, hey, I need $30,000 from you because I'm going to do this. Okay, where's your team? Where's the people that are going to be shooting you to make you do this? Where's the editor? Where's the designer? You know what I mean? So these questions are the things that break down the conversation to make them irrelevant by the time you even get to that point.
Indeed. And as fate would have it, we have a couple of special guests here in the building. My man Brandon, what's going on?
Brandon, Chris, Rap Plug is in the building.
My man Craig King. Whoo-wee! This duo right here from Rap Plug. Well, first of all, I'm going to allow you guys the opportunity to just give it to them. Let them know what it is you do. And we're going to have a conversation about how you do it, because this is what's incredible about you guys is that you could be out there just doing it for you, but you're actually bringing so much more back to the community. So I'd love to hear about how you're doing it, how you started it, and why.
Definitely, man. Rap Plug is the plug, your plug to the hip hop, music, and entertainment industry. That's what we do. We plug you, whether it's online through content like master classes and exclusive talks and interviews and behind the scenes at rappluglive.com, or whether it's physically at one of our networking events, artist showcases, conferences, or summits. We're plugging you. Our goal is to plug you who want to get involved with hip hop, who want to get involved with the entertainment industry, the music industry, to great, dope people, whether they are engineers, singers, songwriters, lawyers, managers. We want to plug you, man. We want to be the plug, and that's what we're doing. We're the plug.
Love it.
Well, my first question to you guys are, what are some of the hardships you face becoming the plug?
Man, I think one of the biggest hardships is that we're really about, validating, people, and making sure that we screen people and that we let you know this is somebody who's legit in the industry. Because everybody can say, oh, I am an A&R, or I'm a lawyer, or I work with so-and-so. But, we want to make sure we bring you quality people who are really vetted, screened, and who they are. So we take our time making someone what we call a Rap Plug Pro, and putting them in our community and connecting them to other people. We make sure we know who they are, what they've done. We do our due diligence, and that's how we move. So that's one of the hardest parts about being the plug is that right there.
I can imagine. Craig, what's going on? How you doing? Can you hear us?
What's up? What's happening? Yeah, I can hear you well.
Perfect.
Great.
You just gave us an incredible introduction about who you guys are and what you do. And I'd like you to tell me a little bit more of why. How did this start? Why do you do it? What is your reason behind this incredible company that you guys have?
Well, I'll just tell you what my why is, and he can speak to his, man. They work very well together. But my why has been a constant in my whole career. I've always tried to figure out how I can give back the knowledge that I had, that I attained along the way. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, man, and I'm a,
Hey.
and I grew up playing Pentecostal piano and organ and drums, man, and
Wow.
I met a ton of sick musicians coming up, and 99.9% of those guys are still at home, working regular 9 to 5s because they couldn't figure out what the code was to crack to get into the industry. And had I not left and gone to Howard and got my scholarship and done the things I did, I might not have even found that code, man. So
Wow.
I always said, when I get where I'm going, I'm going to start giving breadcrumbs back to my people and try to
Oh.
lead them up here and feed them the way I was fed. You know what I mean? And so along the way, every single year, man, I was figuring out how to get in somebody's school and teach and do all that kind of stuff to help young people to learn and crack this code. Because you guys know how the game is, man. You meet one wrong person, they can set you back 5-10 years easily by one bad introduction. Y'all know how it works.
Yeah.
So my thing was always, let's curate the most credible, the coolest, the people who have the most integrity, put them all inside of a marketplace, and then let the world see all that excellence in one location. So that's my why.
I love it. Well, first of all, I want to say big ups to you for that. Most people just, do their thing and never look back, right? That's number one. And number two, you and I may know one person then in common. Now, I always assume everyone knows my boy. He went to Howard University, and had I been a university kind of dude, I probably would have went to Howard myself. So my boy, last Alonzo.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go. That's my brother. And I know if he sees that, he'll probably give me the thumbs up if he was watching. Yeah, that's my brother from another. So big ups to Laz, to my brother. By the way, Laz, just so for those that don't know, has always been an incredible supporter of mine. Not just as a friend, we've been friends for many, many years. Even before he became an actor, we were already homeboys. Hanging out and going to Latin clubs, dancing salsa music back in the days. But we are actually great friends. And then on top of that, he's such a humble human. When he made it, the moment that he made it, he always did that. He always fed me the little crumbs. Hey man, Jay, come here, come there. I got you tickets for this. I got you the red carpet for that. I'm taking you to the Latin Grammys. I'm taking you here and there.
Yeah, that's nice. That's love.
The kid always looked out for me, so I just want to give him a big shout out. He was my plug.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to add one more point to that because you mentioned the spirit of Laz. I also wanted to point out the obvious that is not so obvious to the people on the outside, but would be obvious to us. And that is, man, that there are so many parts of our industry that people don't talk about. And there are only 2 or 3 parts that they do talk about all the time. And so we're in the pathways to success. We're not just into making a hit artist. We're in the pathways, man, and that could mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. So to be able to put a magnifying glass on all the different disciplines of the industry, and we've identified personally 49 different verticals in our industry. So that means there's a lot of job opportunities that a lot of people are overlooking because they don't know it's there. So to put a real serious emphasis on all those amazing jobs, from being an agent to a lawyer to a person that holds the mic, to an engineer, to a mixing engineer, to a mastering engineer, to a stage engineer. There's so many, man, choreographers, DJs, techs, and it's just so vast and so rich with opportunity. And unfortunately, we only see 2 or 3 of those opportunities on a daily basis. So that's another major part of the why for us, is putting a spotlight on those amazing people and those amazing job opportunities.
That's well said, man. Well put. Love it. Craig, what is your why?
That is Craig.
Sorry, Brandon, what is your why?
Man, I started off as a singer, songwriter, manager in the industry, trying to, connect the dots and get to the people who I felt like were worth getting to, the Diddy's of the world, the Rick Ross of the world, the Craig King of the world, people who I admire for what they've done. And I felt like there's a generation of people who are just like me, who are like, man, I don't come from New York. I don't come from Miami. I don't come from LA. I don't come from Atlanta, but I still want to get into this thing called music, and I might not be able to afford to go to a Revolt Summit or A3C or South by Southwest, but, I want to make it. And so coming from tech and business and loving music, I decided to try to build something that would give people access, to those kind of people, or at least that kind of information, and then create events offline in different cities that would do that, plug you to those people so that you can connect, no matter what city you come from, what background you have, or what access you do or don't have. And so I think that was my why. It was like, how can we create something online, digitally, using technology, but how can we do something offline that's dope, that can connect people to each other, just like you would at an A3C festival or conference or South by Southwest, or you would at a Revo Summit, you know what I mean? How can we do that? And that's how the idea of Rap Plug came about. It was about plugging people with each other through content, through relationships, through communities, building a community around hip hop and entertainment.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what you said, I feel like a lot of people forget after the club, after the Instagram post, what are you actually going to do to actually interact with your base? You know what I mean? And what you guys do at Rap Plug, that is dope. My next question is, if I was to head to Rap Plug Live right now, the site, what would be the first experience? What do I see there as a person with new eyes on your product?
Yeah, so when you go to rappluglive.com or you go download the app and you join the platform, the first thing you have is what we call a catalog of opportunities, whether you want to go behind the scenes at the Legends of the Street store with Rick Ross and Jeezy and 2 Chainz, or whether you want to go learn how to write a song from Grammy nominated Eric Bellinger, or whether you want to learn how to produce a beat from Drummer Boy to hitmaker Drummer Boy, or whether you want to see what it's like for Rick Ross to perform live at Drea's in Las Vegas. We're giving you access, from the behind the scenes to the education to the entertainment, the whole nine. And that's what you get. You get that catalog that you can pick from.
That's fantastic. Now, what are some of the challenges that you have, promoting Rap Plug? What are some of the things that maybe that our community can do to help push this amazing opportunity? Because really what you're doing is an opportunity for us, for all of us.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, we just launched our first crowdfunding campaign. For those of you who may not understand what crowdfunding is a new way for tech companies or businesses to raise money from what we call unaccredited investors. You know what I mean? And so it used to be like, if you wanted to get involved with a deal like Triller or a deal like Versus, how they did with Triller or Tidal, you would have to, be a credited investor. You might not even know about that deal until after the fact. You know what I'm saying? So we hear about these multi-billion-dollar deals and these platforms, but we're not in on them before they blow up.
First of all, let's be clear here. It wasn't until last year that we began to get noticed as Black and brown people, and that remember, because in VCs and investments we get less than 1%.
Exactly.
Most people don't realize that. So the reality of it is that opportunities like crowdfunding, and now, by the way, there's going to be equity crowdfunding is going to be a big thing as well, so that the crowd can participate in your company, and that's
what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go. So then that being said, it's very important that and there's a big difference between crowdfunding and equity crowdfunding. So crowdfunding is like, you get a little gift, you get a little something, right? Like, I'll send you a t-shirt, or I'll send you a t-shirt. No. If you're a part of, if you give me some money, I'll send you. No, equity crowdfunding is we're telling you, hey, believe in this movement, believe in the stuff that we're putting together, all this IP that we're creating, and you're going to participate as a fan in the future. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because it's a
right now, like you can literally right now you can go to startengine.com/rap-plug, right? Startengine.com, /rap-plug, or go to our Instagram page or even our website, and you'll see the investment link and things like that. And I think the minimum investment is $250, and you can own equity in Rap Plug. You know what I mean? And so once you invest that $250 through the crowdfunding, equity crowdfunding platform, Start Engine, we give you shares, and then you own those shares. And then once the company blows up, 3, 4, 5 years from now, does a big merger or a big exit, you know, similar to like what Tidal has done with Sprint and with Square,
Yeah.
or what Versus has done with Triller, or even what United Masters has done with Alphabet. You know, once you see the platform or the company, you know, be merged or sold, then you benefit because the value of the shares you bought, you know, they go up. And so, you know, like we said, a lot of people don't know that they can do this because we're less than 2%, you know, represented on platforms like Start Engine, you know, but Black and brown people who are in music and also are in tech can also benefit from platforms like Start Engine. We can
Yes.
build, grow, and scale our companies, and we can not only, you know, win when we do big deals, but the community can win. You know, all of the people who
right
also
now.
in and invest in, you know, your idea, your vision, you know, they also can win. And so it's not just about us and what we're doing. We want to let everybody else know about these opportunities as well, you know, so
Yo,
they
and
can.
I want to add something to what he just said. You talk about the opportunity, but let's talk about one other thing that just occurred simply in one day, which is today. People have now, school districts are calling Rap Plug. You know, literally 2 different school districts in 2 of the biggest cities in the country have reached out to us wanting to use our master classes throughout their school districts. Now you're talking hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
students that will
Perfect.
be able to access, hit our link, download our app in school with a school ID, and that's just in the public school system. Imagine all the music colleges in the regular HBCU community who are going to want to tap into these classes and watch them. Now you just invested in a company that's so scaled that you didn't even see it coming. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So and I'm only talking about 2 major cities. Imagine
Yeah.
if once those 2 take it on, what other ones dial in? So I mean, this is the gift that keeps giving, and the beauty in it is that it's not just a shiny object. This is something that's going to benefit the community, and it's going to put great minds on the forefront of our industry, feeding the culture.
Now,
I agree.
that's fantastic. Now, here's the thing, people. You're either going to be very, very happy 3 or 4 years from now because you listen to this and you were like, you know what? I'm going to go and put $1,000 here because why not? Right? No different than the people that back in 2009 decided, you know what is this thing called Bitcoin? All right, whatever. I'm just going to put a little bit. I put $100 on there. You know, who cares, right? And the reality of it is that you're either going to be extremely happy and successful 3 or 4 years from now because you took some chances on companies like these. And by the way, remember, you have to invest in people. Don't think about investing in just ideas. Invest in people. And you see these 2 young men here. They got the heart, they got the soul, they got the knowledge, obviously, and the skill and experience. So you have to invest in people like this. And number 2, this is very, very important. You have to remember that when you don't take a chance, when you don't take an opportunity and believe in something, and whether it's them or you know, you're gonna see other opportunities, but at least research them, do your homework, just do your due diligence and see for yourself, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be Ronald Wayne. That's the 3rd founder of you ever heard of the third founder of Apple?
No, now I'm not thinking
Exactly.
about it. Yep.
You've never heard of him.
That's why.
That's the whole point. You've never heard of him. But there is a 3rd founder. And so the bottom line is that I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I think it's phenomenal. You know, as you know, we are pretty much into the whole educational. This is what we're doing now, but we also participated in Music Industry Essentials with NYU and Billboard, and that was life-changing. To this day, we're getting life-changing messages and emails from people that have taken the Music Industry Essentials course. And I look, even last year, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, I had an employee. My assistant was an employee from the course. So the things that you guys are going to be doing with your rap, I mean, rap is everything. Hip hop is everything. Everyone wants to know and be
Culture.
It's the culture.
Yeah.
It's our culture. So if you really want to get plugged, and you want to know, you start with the education. So 100%. I'm excited to invest myself.
Yeah,
Let's go.
seriously. I was thinking about it. I'm like, when I get off this.
We're excited, man. You know, we're like you said, we are software as a service platform. We have different users signing up every day. We see this thing being a multi-million-dollar platform in the future. We have different companies want to license our masterclass and content for educational purposes for their schools and colleges and things like that. Different mobile carriers hitting us up about putting our platform, on their devices. We have different companies talking to us about integrating, NFTs and all kind of stuff like that, and all kind of stuff, man. So we're excited about what we're doing. We have a huge community of Grammy-nominated, Grammy Award-winning, multi-platinum selling producers, engineers, singers, songwriters who are a part of our community. Rick Rose, the biggest boss, is one of our Flash investors, in the company. He just dropped that new album yesterday, so make sure y'all go get that. That new album, Richer Than I Ever Been. You know what I mean? So,
while we're at that, let's make sure we mention that we will be in Miami tomorrow, filming the album release party. That's down there with the whole family. It's gonna be ridiculous. And then we have a STEM event. Yeah, we have a STEM event. What's that?
No, go ahead. Finish it.
No. I just want to get these quick calendars out real quick. Then on the 17th, we have a plugged in showcase. We're celebrating our 4th year anniversary here in Atlanta. So you're in the market, come by, get on our Instagram, check us out. We're gonna have a ball, a bunch of super dope new artists are performing, a couple of legends too. Room will be full of networking opportunities. It's gonna be sick. And then on that following Saturday, we're doing
what's the venue? What's the venue?
What's it called?
Relapse Theater, November 17th, Atlanta, Georgia. You can go on Eventbrite and get all the information. You can go to rappluglive.com and get all the information. You can go to our Instagram at rappluglive, at The Real Rap Plug. We have a showcase with artists, and we have over 100 music industry professionals coming out, top award
engineers, gonna be sick.
Grammy songwriters. They're all coming out, and you can network with them. You can plug with them. It's our 4-year anniversary celebration, so it's going to be crazy. I'm telling you, it's going to be real crazy.
Congrats on the 4 years, just to say that. You know what I mean? You guys saying that and throwing that out there. Congrats on the 4 years and what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
It's a blessing working with Rick Ross and all these people that are investing, man. It's really dope.
Yeah, and thank you. Of course, listen, hey, now you're talking about my hometown, though. 305, baby.
Hey, tomorrow. It's going to be a movie.
All right.
It's going to be a movie tomorrow.
I'm a New Yorker. Born and raised, but I was also raised in Miami. So Miami is definitely home. Yeah. That's where my family is. So big ups to everyone there. But I will say this, hit me up, off of this. Make sure you DM me or send me a text or something. And then I'll plug you with some guys and send some people your way for sure.
No, let's do it. Let's make it happen. For real.
All right, man. And
Miami is the southern Miami. Yeah.
Miami, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Miami is the southern New York, but go ahead.
That's right. You call it the southern New York. I call it the capital of Latin America.
I ain't mad at that either. I ain't mad at that.
So that being said, man, much love. I'm really excited and really happy that we got to have this talk. I want to hear from you guys one last thing. What is it how do you deal with adversity? What is it that you do when something pops up, when a negative person comes along, or when something happens, right? Because the shit hits the fan all the time. So what is it that you do?
Man, I always say, what don't break you only make you stronger. You know what I'm saying? And so what I've learned is that when things get tough, when things get hard, when things come your way that seem like, they kind of hard, it's only conditioning you to be great, because great people have to deal with and persevere through adversity. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, I don't run away from it. I embrace it. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that's hard, it only means that, I'm about to win. I'm about to see a W, because things only going to get hard because I know I'm about to win at the end. So I
like that.
Embrace it and let it help you and motivate you and mold you to be better and stronger.
Wow. All right. Well,
honestly,
I'll say
they hit the nail on the head. They hit the nail on the head with that one, bro.
Go ahead, Craig.
I'll go lightweight on it and just say that if you don't if you're flexible, you won't get bent out of shape. So just remain agile and flexible throughout life.
I like that. If you're
Yeah.
flexible,
You
you
won't
won't
get bent out of shape.
I like that a lot. No, that's phenomenal, guys. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure. I really, really enjoyed this convo. And again, everybody go ahead and go to wraplive.com. You know, this is a place that you're going to get a whole lot of information. And again, I myself, I invest in people. When I hear incredible humans that are with character that are creating incredible, valuable things for other people, especially, I certainly invest. So I'm looking forward to hearing, 6 months from now,
Oh yeah.
what the outcome to the push has been.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you
And
guys.
we appreciate it.
No doubt.
Can I say one last thing, bro? Can I say one last thing and then I'm out? I know you guys are not small time. I know who you are, and we appreciate the platform you've given us because you guys are no slouches yourselves. I know there's a whole lot of monstrous power between the two of you, and I know for sure about the music industry side. So I appreciate the veterans talking to the veterans today. That's number one. And the last thing I want to say is, man, listen. If you guys happen to have access to any other companies that we need to know about, that we should be talking about in terms of investments and all that, send that our way. We will certainly plug you guys because we want to help each other. All right.
That's coming. And speaking of investments, that's exactly where we're going to go next. I think one of the things that most people don't realize is that as musicians, a lot of times we, let's be real. We're not the best when it comes to finances. We're not very good when it comes to credit. We're not very good at saving money. And we're certainly not very good at spending it, right? Because we like the bling, and that's okay. Because I like the bling myself,
You see the man's glasses? It doesn't come cheap. Nah.
But however, I do have to say that even myself, it took many, many years of me falling on my nose, over my face, for me to learn the process, for me to learn about financial literacy. I think that that's one of the things that we don't learn enough. And I think that it's not just our Black and brown folks, but it's also musicians in general. It doesn't matter where you're from. A lot of times, even people, and Rachel and I actually, when we spoke at Harvard the first time, we thought, well, these kids, they have it all. They don't, what more can they? But the reality is that we had a lot of them come up to us and say, look, we're basically being blackballed from our family because I really want to be a DJ. But, if I don't study, medicine or lawyer or whatever,
you out the house,
then you're
out the family,
you're cut off, right? So this is beyond, our Black and brown folks. This is everybody, all people, every color you can imagine. Every artist is struggling with the same.
My thing is, I tell any artist or any entrepreneur, once you're starting and you're going into the music industry, you're already crazy. You're already delusional. Everything is set up for you to lose. Understand it, but knowledge is key. And that's why you guys are sitting here watching this. So you could avoid the malarkey out there. You could avoid all the tripping and stumbling, the lies and the fake promotions, and get it from the source. You're actually seeing people that are doing it, living it, and actually believing in it. So
yeah, for sure. One of the things that I can say about that is that it also helps when you have family and some friends that
actually show up to whatever you're doing.
Exactly, that are supportive. So I have always had a supportive family, even if I was out there, on my own doing things and believing blindly many times on what I was doing. And same thing for Rachel and every single person in this room. There's a lot more people behind the camera that you guys can see. And so all of us have been through that, I think that's important. So, but one of the things we want to talk about today, and I think I'm going to let the boss lady dictate where we're going next. But I think one of the things that I wanted to really bring up soon is one, the credit part of it, and two, also the banking for musicians. That's also a tough cookie. A lot of times, we're not we can't just go and open a bank account as musicians. A lot of times, you know, they're asking you for all these different things, you know, DNA samples sometimes. You know, it's like just nuts what is happening, like when you go and apply for an account. And by the way, musicians, please, this is something that I can't stress enough. Please, I don't care if you are a band or if you are by yourself. Open a name, your name, as a LLC. It doesn't, even if it's your name, even if you can't think of, you know, like computer graphic LLC, it doesn't matter. I'm writing a song today, LLC, whatever. It doesn't matter, because I promise you it's going to help you later on. And it's also going to help you open a bank account. Yeah. However, you won't need that anymore.
There we
And
go.
today we're going to show you how. We're going to have a special application that we're going to supply you with today. So we're going to switch places, and we're going to let Rachel just intro this next part.
What's up, everybody? So let's see where we're going next. You know, first of all, I just want to say I love those guys, Brandon, Craig. Thanks so much for your time. I've been following their work for a number of years since, you know, they first got started. And for us, music entrepreneurs are all about let's collaborate and rise. I don't know everything about the music industry, but I just know how to meet great people and bring great energy together and find the knowledge that I need. So definitely, we're gonna go
Nice
to Christina,
paintings.
so
I
you
love
can, you
those
can,
paintings.
you can get that one ready.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And
Wait, the
so
blur
next up, we're
audio?
gonna jump right into
You did. Nice. Your
data
paintings.
and analytics.
What do you like, blur or
because
no
guess
blur?
what? Oh, what you got? You already
You have nice paintings. I would do no blur
we
Hold
gotta
on.
mute
Okay.
that. So
for sure.
Christine Ozazua and Demi, I always butcher his last name, so let me just bring it up. Oyebanji, yes, that's it. These two people are absolutely incredible. First of all, Christine she just recently left a position with Warner Music. She was the global marketing director of data and analytics. So need I say more? If you want to know anything about data and analytics, it's definitely this woman. And she also runs Measure of Music, which is a really cool conference. She's got workshops. She's got so much really, again, about how to break this all down. We have so much information about our fan base. The super fan funnel. We have so much information about, you know, our fan bases and, you know, where they're at, what they like, and that can really help you to create this plan ahead. What should I be doing more of? We, you know, always think about the 80-20 rule. If you guys have thought, you know, this applies in so many different ways, right? In business, usually it's 20% of what you do that's really going to create 80% of the results, right? So that's what data and analytics can really help you narrow in, is like, what is that 20% that's really going to help you drive the most efficiency in your business? And so you're going to get to meet Harrison and the Riff team later.
Yep.
They actually came to MeCon last year as guests.
This is a great
we ended
story.
up acquiring the team and the company because, again, they're building out this whole portal together. Now we are just to be able to allow you, we want you to eventually be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, Riff, what do I need to do today? And we have all your information. We know your goals. We know where you're going. And we're going to help you step by step get there. So what we've been building out is something called the super fan funnel.
Yeah.
So no more just focusing on social media and just focusing on, you know, the big numbers.
But I want to look at my
IG. I know you don't need millions of followers to be rich and famous, okay? You really just need to narrow down those 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 super fans.
Yep.
And that's really where your bread and butter is going to be. So the super fan funnel is going to help you really dig through that, take that awareness and really drive that right down through a marketing funnel. So I'm going to get out of the way so that they can really take you through this. So we're going to show you the super fan builder and break down.
Yeah. And again,
Exactly
it doesn't mean that you're not building toward that, right? You're creating the compound effect. Eventually you're going to get there. But the idea is very, very simple, you know. Doesn't matter that you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100,000 people, 1 million people. What matters is that you have 2,000 to 5,000 super fans. If you have 2 to 5,000 super fans, and imagine
We can show you how to
they're
make
spending
millions
money
of
on you
dollars.
every month, $5 to $10, because they really believe in your journey, in your community that you're building. They believe in the things you're doing. They're
going to be your marketing team.
Exactly.
They're going to be your biggest street team out there.
Just do the math. Do the math with those numbers. That being said,
here we go.
Demi
and Christine.
My name is Demi Oyebanji. I'm sitting here with Christina Sazwa, and we're gearing up for our talk about superfan funnels and the best practices on how to build them. A little bit more about myself. I am the Director of Creator Success at Riff. Riff is the technological infrastructure for the music entrepreneur platform. Essentially, what I do is help determine what the high impact actions an artist can take towards their goals are. Previously, I spent my whole life working in music. It feels like I grew up playing a lot of instruments, and then I went to college for popular music and consumer behavior at Western University before transferring to Berkeley, where I got my degree in music production. Ran a private label for some time, did some work doing business development for local businesses in Toronto. And just through that experience, I built all of the skills necessary to, I guess, learn on behalf of artists, which is what I'm doing now, and talk to experienced people like Christine and brilliant people who, give me the guidance that I need to make the proper decisions for artists. So that's an intro to me. If you want to learn more about me, come to my office hours, please. Yeah, I'm going to pass it off to you, Christine.
Thank you so much, Demi. Hi, everybody. I'm Christine. It's lovely to be here. I have been working in the music industry for most of my life as well. I currently the director for strategy at the live music and travel company called Pollen. Prior to this, I worked at Warner Music Group while in London. And prior to that, I was at Universal Music Group in Sweden. I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, now live abroad in London, and I spent time working for labels, startups, live, journalism, and more within the music industry. And I hold a degree in an MBA in marketing and a master's in data science. It's good to be here.
Awesome. And so today we're talking about the superfan funnel, and I think before we get into that, it would be really helpful if we could go into why is a superfan funnel even necessary for an artist? Why is the concept of a funnel and of taking this large net of people that you get at the beginning and pushing them towards this thing, why is it an important part of an artist's journey? And so I'll give my perspective first, and then I'll pass it on to you. But the building a proper flow for the people who are interacting with your brand, and the people who play such a fundamental role as the consumer part of your music business. Having a deliberate way of passing them on from place to place before they get to the final destination and that final interaction that is super important to you. That's the point of a superfan funnel to me. So finding the the next step from where you are to get your artists or your to get your fans closer and closer and closer to that final destination. How about yourself, Christine?
Yeah, I think it's really important because there's not a one size fits all strategy for an artist fan. Meaning that you would treat someone that's a super fan of you a lot differently than you're treating someone that maybe just started listening or just kind of has heard of you in passing. You have to treat those people that are super fans incredibly well because they make up usually the bulk of your listenership. They're the ones that repeat listen the most. They're the ones that listen on the first day. They're the ones that buy albums. They're the ones that spend actual money. So it's incredibly important to think about A, who those people are, B, how to reach them, and C, how do you get more people to that position. So it involves a combination of various marketing tactics as well as just communication and transparency with your fans in order to be able to accomplish that. But I think it's the most important thing you can do as an artist is to build that funnel out and make sure that you have a continuous pipeline to actually get that audience you're looking for to that super fan stage.
Absolutely, and I love the fact that you said it's not one size fits all, because the more that music expands and the more diversity we see in the industry, the more artists get creative about the ways they interact with their fans, the more that we truly see there is no way to be successful as a musician. There are only goals and ways to achieve those goals. So in that line, I think the first phase for an artist, before you even start talking about defining your funnel, is deciding who are these people that you're interacting with anyway. So let's talk a little bit about how to identify your fan base. So on the Superfan Builder tool, we have some insights that are helpful when it comes to identification of your fans. So we give data on gender. So we have them split in 3 categories right now. That's male, female, and non-binary. And then even across those genders, we also have the age demographic. So who are your male fans that are between 25 and 34, and how much of your fan base do they make, and what are the things that are important to them. And so when it comes to demographic data, the important things to note is that especially when it comes to things like gender and age, they're not really a basket for you to throw your fans under and say, okay, because most of my fans are this age, or because most of my fans are this gender, that dictates what they want or the way that they interact, because typically it doesn't. But what it can dictate is some of the things that might be important to them, some of the things that are at the forefront of their digital interactions. What are the things that are popping up on their feed? What are the things that are important to them socially? What's happening to them in terms of social justice right now? What's important to them in terms of any movements, any trends. And so this helps you in terms of positioning your brand and saying, okay, I know that these are the majority of people that I'm speaking to, but I also know that because you fit within this demographic, this is the best way of me to position myself to you and to show you my value, depending on the things that I perceive as valuable to you. And so that goes deeper when we go into things like interests. So you look at someone's interests, and we also give that kind of data on the Superfan Builder. You look at their interests and you're able to see, where is this person online? Because where do we go when we go into Instagram or TikTok? We go to find the content that interests us. We go look at the things that we want to learn more about, things that we want to be educated about, the things that we want to talk about. So understanding the interests of your fan base helps you know where to locate them, what things to talk about. And then, of course, location. So the physical location of your fan base helps you decide not only some cultural things, which are very location based, but also, where should you be putting your paid marketing? Where is your conversion? Where are your conversion metrics coming from? So where are people buying the majority of their tickets? It should be the place where you have the most fans. So I think when it comes to building the perfect superfan funnel and understanding your superfans, I think identifying the demographics comes first. What do you think, Christine?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you have said. Definitely. I definitely think that you have to identify your fans before you can do anything else. So thinking about, yes, their interests. What I always found really interesting is during the pandemic, when it first started, people were struggling to find their audience and figure out where their fans were, because people had a very shallow viewpoint of who their fans were. Meaning, if you were a dance artist, like, oh yeah, well, they love going to clubs. So it's like, well, the clubs were closed. Where are they now? So if you don't fully understand who your audience is, you're not going to be able to reach them. It can't be as shallow as, they like this type of music, or they live in these types of places, because it goes much deeper than that. And if you're trying to identify them, win them over, and things like that, you have to know what they're looking for, and that will dictate all kinds of things. So that would dictate the type of content you make, who you might go on tour with, who you might collaborate with, what type of merchandise you release, what ways people can interact with you, what platforms you're going to be on. It all determines about what your fans are doing. People often ask me, should I be on, TikTok? And my literal first question is, are your fans on TikTok? The answer could be yes or no. And if your fans are on TikTok, then yeah, absolutely. If your fans are not on TikTok, then why? If your target audience isn't there, your fans aren't there, then why would you go to the trouble of adding another platform to your repertoire if you don't need to? So looking at, literally, seriously, like looking at who your fans are, using things like Superfan Builder, and also just like doing your own research, figuring out, all the various platforms. Like if you're on Spotify, look at your Spotify for artists. If you're on Apple, look at your, Apple Insights, etc., and figure out, hey, cool, my fans on this platform are here. My fans on Patreon are over here. My fans on Twitter over here. And hopefully you start seeing some patterns in some places where that overlaps. And those patterns, those places that overlap, are the most important places to double down your efforts. Another thing I always tell people, especially when they're looking at information like location, is also make sure you understand contextually what that means. So, for example, a lot of times artists will say, oh, I have tons of fans in the US, maybe I should tour there. And I always tell them to compare the audience they have in the US with the overall population in the US. Is that still a significant percentage in comparison to, for example, your hometown or Europe or things like that? If it's still a significant percentage, then that's definitely something to consider. But if it's like 1% of the population, which is, 3 million people in the US, then it might not be the best place for you to devote your energy right now. So being really clear about contextually what the data is telling you, not just the raw numbers, but really what that means in the context of everything else. I think it's very, very important to consider. And also one thing to think about is how things change over time, or if things are kind of a flash in the pan. You see a lot of artists that, you know, have a track that does very successfully on you know, TikTok, and they have one track with 1 billion streams, and then the rest of the tracks with 1 million. There's nothing wrong with having 1 million streams. It's great to have 1 billion streams, but really you don't want to revamp or cater yourselves to people that are temporarily going to be around. Again, focusing on who your super fans are is incredibly important. So the people that started with you are the people that are going to stay with you if you nurture that relationship. So it could be a small amount of people, it could be a large amount of people, but you have to nurture that relationship to keep them, because there's no point of gaining new fans while losing the old fans. Traditional marketing will tell you that it's cheaper to maintain a customer than acquire a new customer. And if you think of your fans in the same way, keeping the people that love you around is much easier than trying to continuously build people or keep people around that may or may not be there for the long haul.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And I think one of the I guess pits that artists will fall into when they're looking at their data is you see all of these metrics, you see all of these people, but for an artist, you know, artists have been told over and over again what their high converting, you know, metrics are. So what are your high impact metrics? How many followers I have, how much money I'm making, that kind of engagement, how many streams I'm getting on Spotify. But I think that creates a pit for artists to fall into, because you're not really thinking, okay, what are the high impact interactions between myself and my fans? So, you know, it could be, you know, if you were to draw a Venn diagram, one being yourself and then one being the people you're interacting with, you really need to understand what specifically falls in the middle. So, you know, what are the experiences that audience requires that you can provide? What are the low shelf actions that they can take that will drive big momentum for you? And how can you drive them towards those actions? You know, so the function of a marketing funnel or a super fan funnel is that you drive a brand new listener to take that first step by committing them to a small action, and then naturally leading them to the next action, and so on until they are like a fully engaged fan. Because, you know, at the beginning, when they're just finding your music, when they're just finding out your brand, they have no motivation to do any of the high impact interactions, buy some merch, go to your show, do any of that. But they might have, you know, enough for them to like a couple of your posts, comment, share. So talking about how you can decide what interactions are important where and in what order is the purpose of a superfan funnel. So when we talk about, I guess, funneling your fans, Christine, how do you see that funnel playing out for an artist?
Yeah, I think one thing that I always find really interesting is that a lot of people have kind of lost, or maybe potentially never had, the concept of how marketing overall works. I think people inherently understand marketing, but when it comes to things that they are very close to, all of a sudden it feels like they've kind of lost that information. So what mean is you might not be the target audience for your music. I know that seems very obvious when I say it out loud, but I think sometimes people forget that. I remember I worked at a company once, and someone that was like the brand owner for something, they said, hey, I never see our ads. And I said, well, you aren't the target audience for the ads. If you saw the ads, I wasn't doing my job correctly. And I think that's something that's really kind of lost on people when they think about, I remember talking to some people, and they would say, hey, a super fan would listen to a song the moment it was released, and it said, it depends on who your fans are. Some super fans are very much like that. If you have, if you're an artist like Justin Bieber or 5 Seconds of Summer, or even smaller artists that have a certain sound, like pop artists, pop punk bands, etc., tend to have fans that they tend to listen as soon as a song comes out. However, if you are an artist that has older fans, for example, if you're an artist that has fans that happen to be, parents, for example, they're much less likely to listen up front. I remember doing some analysis and some studies around the space, and I found that there were some artists where they had a really strong overlap in kids music. There were some audiences that had a really strong overlap in kids music, and I realized it's because they're parents, and they were the ones that were most likely to take longer to listen to a new album when it was released. So I laying that groundwork and that foundation to make sure that people kind of understand that when you're thinking about marketing, it's not what you like or your behavior or what you would do. It's more than that. It's much more than that. It's really what your fans are going to do, what your fans normally do, and how they behave. There's some ways in which you can kind of coerce people to kind of change their behaviors, but you also have to kind of meet people where they are. Meaning you have to think really clearly about, hey, where are my fans? What are they doing? How are they going to behave? And then tailor to that, not make them continuously kind of come to you, because if you make them come to you, that's the way that you're going to lose the fans overall. In terms of the actual marketing funnel, if you think about it, there's top of funnel. So think about funnel shaped this way. The top of the funnel is, the consideration stage. That's the part of the funnel where people are going to hear of your band for the first time, or hear of your music for the first time. Maybe they heard it, from a friend. Maybe it was through a sync. Maybe it was just seeing your username on a platform like Twitter or TikTok or things like that. So that's the point in which people are just kind of figuring out if they actually care, or if they like you, or if they want to progress essentially with you in some way. So at that point, what you're kind of thinking about is making sure that when that person has the opportunity to find you, you make it easy for them to continue to find you, meaning there's more for them to dig into and more for them to discover. Let's say they hear, a song, then when they go on Spotify, for example, or Apple, is there more music for them to consume? If there's not music for them to consume there, what about on YouTube? Have you put additional content up around that song? For example, have you done things like done a behind the scenes, or a making of, or a lyric video, or explanation of why you put the other song, something like that, to provide more content to people so that they can continue down the funnel essentially. So at the top of the funnel, we're looking at consideration. At the very bottom of the funnel, you're looking at loyalty and conversions and things like that. And in between, there's these steps where people are taking from, hey, I'm considering you as an artist, to I'm aware of you as an artist, which is they've heard one song, maybe they've heard two now, maybe they can recognize your name when someone says it. They probably wouldn't say, oh, I love that artist or I love that band. They might say, oh yeah, I've heard of them. So what your job then is like, oh, you've heard once or twice, then is to figure out, hey, how do I continuously reach that person? Meaning, oh, they listened once and they've consumed whatever I had the first time. So like, how do I get them to come back again? There's a few different ways you kind of approach that. For example, one could be, an email list. One could be a contest that you put out. One could be, having your own like landing page. So when you go link in bio, making sure that you have all your tracking in place so you can like run a targeted ad later or something like that. So there's a few different ways that you can kind of go about things. But like that point of like making sure that you can find them again, because super fandom isn't built in a single session. A lot of marketing studies find that it takes 7 touch points for someone to actually convert. And the more expensive or more time consuming that conversion is, the longer it generally takes, and actually the more potential advertising or expenditure it takes to do that conversion. And so when you think about 7 touch points from a music standpoint, that might be 7 different tracks released, but you could speed up that process if it's 4 tracks released and 3 really cool music videos that you also put out, or 5 tracks released and 2 really great emails offering a discount on the web store, for example. Now people that are just kind of considering you are not going to probably go to your web store quite yet, but that's when you get to that conversion stage. That conversion stage is when people go from like, oh, hey, I've heard that band, to like, yeah, I like that band. I'm going to be willing to buy a concert ticket, or I'm going to be willing to buy merch. And what that might look like, one way for conversion is like, if you're really listening to your fans, really listening to what they want, you might identify artists that they really love in addition to you, especially if this artist has a similar size in their career, like a similar point in their career as you. That's a good opportunity for a collaboration or a tour together. And so that conversion is probably much more likely to happen because you double down on the same fan twice, essentially. If they're like, oh, I love this artist and I love you, oh yeah, I'll go to that concert because I'm getting 2 for the price of 1, essentially. Or definitely I'm going to check out that song and I'm going to tell my friends about it because it's 2 artists that I really like, for example. That's how you convert them into like that super fan phase, because essentially even unconsciously they're thinking, hey, this artist really knows what I want as a super fan. They know that I want to hear this type of music, I want to see this type of tour, I want to see this type of merch. I find it really fun when artists do kind of like almost like inside jokes with their fans, where like no one else would really get it for like merch or things like that, but like their fans definitely would. So for example, when I worked at Warner, there was a Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion released a track, WAP, and one of the merch items for that was like umbrellas and like raincoats. It's a really funny joke if you understand what WAP actually stands for, obviously. But things like that, I think, is a really tongue-in-cheek way to reach your super fans. People that are not super fans probably didn't find that particularly funny and probably didn't buy the merch. But if you're like a really big fan and love it, but like that's exactly what you're looking for, and that's who you need to tailor merch to anyway. Because like, the person that just heard your song for the first time isn't going to be buying the merch anyway. And then once you get down to like the retention phase, that's where you have to keep your super fans. And that's what I meant when I said it's much more expensive to convert a new fan than to keep the fans that you already have. So that's when you do things to appeal to them as super fans. Make sure that you acknowledge them. Make sure you, if they're on your email list and they've been on your email list for 5 years, make sure you send a little note, like a personalized note, even if you're a small enough artist, and say, hey, thank you so much for all your support. They're going to absolutely love that. They're going to screenshot it and send it to all their friends and post it on social media. And that leads to advocacy where they become your marketing machine. Essentially, they start doing all that heavy lifting for you. If you think about artists like BTS, and they have the BTS Army, they run as an autonomous unit to get their artists on the charts, to get them playing radio stations, to get collaborations, and things like that. They work as a entity, and so if you get to the point, even at a small scale, of like having fans that like are your biggest fans, that's super important. I think one really cool way that I've seen people approach this is to have like little like almost like a focus group of super fans, and they might be their core fans, and they send them email every couple months and say, hey, what do you think about this, or who do you want to see me collaborate with next, or who do you want, what type of merch are you looking for, et cetera, where they build that idea of the fans being a part of the journey and a part of the artist experience with them, and that's what helps with that retention and that advocacy. So when you start from awareness and you get all the way down to advocacy, that's the super fan funnel, and it starts with a wide swath and net all the way down to that very core important people that you have to make sure you always keep in your corner, because they're going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you as you grow as an artist.
Amazing. I think the one thing I would also add is that this funnel isn't like it's not like a top to bottom process where you have your awareness running and then you move everybody to the next phase, to the next phase, to the next phase. It's sort of like you have some people who will go from the awareness phase to the next phase, and then you'll need to send them back, so they won't interact with that many touch points. They'll forget about the brand, so you'll need to re-scoop them from the awareness phase again, maybe send them down a different funnel. Maybe you try to send them down your content funnel on TikTok and Instagram. Maybe that didn't really work. Maybe they're more of a music connection. So if you try again, Spotify could funnel, try and get them into your streams, get them into your listings, get them into your merch, get them into your shows. That is another super fan funnel where you're starting again from the awareness phase and you're trying to bring them. But then you also have, like you said, like retention, where you convert a fan and then you sort of take them back into the engagement phase and then convert them again, and then engagement conversion and engagement conversion. So you sort of retain their attention by continuously giving them things to engage with and different touch points to enter. So I think that's perfect, as long as artists sort of understand that it's sort of a consistent cycle, this funnel. So it's not top down. It's sort of like you're continuously running people through your superfan funnel or superfan funnels.
Yeah, I think that's a really excellent point, because I think something that's inherent with music is the fact that you're, like, they call it a cycle for a reason. There's some artists that have an always on strategy, meaning they're releasing music pretty much consistently every every 3 to 6 months. But most, I wouldn't say most, but like some artists are on a cycle, meaning they are album artists. Think of like an Adele, for example. Adele's very much an album artist, where you have to tell people albums coming out, talk about the album that's coming out, put the album out, do a press circuit where you talk about the album that's come out. And those are all examples of those various touch points that you're going through as a artist to make sure you meet your fans. Same thing if you're an artist that tours quite frequently. There's every time, hey, there's a tour that's going to come, hey, the tour is happening now. Here's some footage from the tour. Here, make sure you buy your ticket for the tour, et cetera, where there's all these different touch points again, because a lot of what it comes to music is very cyclical, because you literally are releasing music, and then you need to make sure people are aware of the music and convert on the music, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very much not like it takes work, and just because someone is a super fan now doesn't mean they're always going to be one, and just because they're a super fan doesn't mean they're going to listen on day one, and all the different components. So you have to make sure that you're, again, meeting them where they are, essentially.
Of which, what do we want to say after this?
All right. We cut that one a little bit. There's a little bit more left, but you guys are going to be able to see that live. I mean, not live. You guys are going to be able to see the upload. So you're going to be able to see the whole thing, pick up where you left off, or see it all over again. I think there's a lot of information there that you guys probably need to jot down some notes on. So obviously, Demi is brilliant. His team is brilliant, and we're lucky to have him, on our side.
Yep, and Demi's live in the chat right now. So if any questions for Demi, any thoughts around that, definitely get back to him. Also, there's going to be a way that you guys can start using this whole Superfan funnel system very soon. We're going to be launching the beta group so that you can just start using the tool. We're going to have some one-on-one workshops as well. So if you go to musicentrepreneur.co, you can get started there. And also, you're going to fill out a whole profile of who you are, what you do.
Yes.
The more that we know about you, the more that we can, create workshops, create masterminds, create whatever it is that you need. So also feel welcome to send us an email and tell us more of what questions you have, where do you want support? And that way, again, we just know how to structure things. Because look, we're just scratching the surface on all of this information today. We're going to be hosting stuff all year round until next year, right?
Yes.
And we're going to really hold your hand through all of these steps.
Yeah.
So don't worry, this is just the beginning.
And what's important to know is that what we're doing is that we're giving you actionable steps. We're giving you tools. All right. Now, if you and I tell people all the time, you want to go watch a conference about writing songs, and this is not your conference, right? We'll point you in the right direction. We'll show you certain things. This is the business of music, and the best way to skip the line. This is a way for you to know that if I do these things and I pay attention and I actually create, again, my roadmap, I know that I can get, to this place. So this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing. What is the next one that you wanted to do right now?
So when you identify those super fans, we're going to bring up Isaac. Let's just hop into some merchandise. How can you actually make money? So you get people through this whole ecosystem, and then what?
Wait, question. Merchandise or EPKs? What do you want to know about? Tell me right now.
All right, let's
How
go.
about we let you decide right now? This is the kind of conference this is.
Not just EPKs, but so the two options we'll say,
Branding
right?
and marketing.
So Remy Jordan.
I want to see you guys right now on the chat telling me, do you want to know how to pitch yourself?
How to get booked, how to get on those stages, how to get out there.
Or do you want to sell merchandise?
Which one do you want to do?
And by the way, if it was me, I go with the EPK.
I hear merch. I see branding. What else we got? Because this whole EPK game, I was even really surprised of how much has changed, what people who are actually booking talent are looking for.
Pitching. There you go. I like that.
They want to go pitching. EPK, how to get booked. Piper wants to know how to get booked. All right. That's where we're going.
There you go.
And so Remy, he lives in Paris right now. Super freaking cool dude. He's lived in LA, Vegas, runs some of Live Nation's biggest venues. He's booked probably about 5,000 artists. He runs major festivals. I mean, this guy is plugged in throughout the music industry. He's had a huge career in this. So he created tunetracks.com. Check that out right now while Dalen's bringing this up, TRAX. So tunetracks.com. See this whole platform. Number one, this whole EPK builder and this tool is completely free. And then they have tons of opportunities right there on the website that you can start submitting for different shows, festivals, things that are happening around the world. So they just make your life so much easier to go through that whole process.
Yes, and the last thing is, listen, I am sick and tired of getting EPKs that are just terrible. Come on, people, get it together. All right, no, actually, what this is gonna do actually is also give you just a one place where you can put all of your information in. A lot of times, you all know we have websites, we have, you know, our video here and there, we have a resume, we have our EPK, we have a video, blah, blah, blah. We have 1,000 things. And then people have the attention span of a fly. So you want to have everything in one place that is concise, that is easy to click on, so that me as the promoter, as the booker, as the person that wants to book you, I'll click on what I want, and I'll get to know a bit about you as I want to get to know about you. If I'm all about the music, I'll go straight to the music. If I'm all about the video and the visuals, that's what I'll do. And so I think that that's important. So I'm going to go ahead and play this and take it from there. I'm excited about this one, guys.
Remy, welcome to MeCon, man. Thanks so much for
guys.
being here.
Hey guys, good to see you. How are you guys doing?
Yes, great. We've been looking forward to this session. You know, as you and I have been preparing for this, I've just been so excited because you're going to bring so much great information to these artists to want to hit the road, you know, want to be touring more and just get more opportunities to get out there. So I'd love to know, you know, give us a little background about how we got here today and, you know, where Tune Tracks came from.
Yes. So basically, I am a music entrepreneur. I should say music tech entrepreneur. Being originally from Paris, where I'm located right now. And I manage venue, and we're actually in Paris, and I relocated to Los Angeles back in '97, really to follow my passion for both music and technology. So this is, you know, the last 15 years I booked about 4,325 artists, and about hosted about 1,300 shows, from local to regional to national, international acts. So my passion in assisting up and coming artists is really, you know, helping them to be successful in their career is really what's been driving me in my own personal career. And why did I start Tune Tracks? Basically, well, I will have to explain what Tune Track is all about, making the assumption that not everybody knows. But you know, I spent many years, like as I mentioned, running concert venue and producing music festivals and booking thousands of performers, you know, in my career. And what I witness is the struggle that artists have. You know, first in the struggle of you know, underrepresented artists or becoming artists to grow their career and to represent themselves. So to feel the immediate need, some musician friends and I and myself, I don't consider myself, although I play music, but I don't consider musicians. We created a set of you know, do-it-yourself tools. That's an online tool for them, which ended call the platform ended up calling chin tracks. So today, an artist, as you know, an artist need a website. They need a media kit. They need all the social media plugins, accounts. They need a MailChimp to send, their newsletters to their fans and stuff. And on top of that, they need, distribution, like, services like CD Baby, Dito, DistroKid, whatever they use. And that's what's not enough. They also need to run their promotions, everything from, the release of the single, the EP, announcing the tour, that sort of thing. So are you getting Daisy?
No, not yet.
Wait, you froze. Okay.
You froze for a minute, but I think the computer got.
I think the computer got dizzy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You got overloaded. You got overloaded with all the information, but we're okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of where did we leave it? Where did that get? Where did
we heard everything. Up to
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically that's where we Chin Track come in. So from creating a press kit to promoting shows to managing social media channel, all that sort of things, connecting with fans, of course, to give you an opportunity to just do about everything an artist needs to do online, with Chin Track, just in one place. And that's very important. That's something that we'll discuss a little bit further later on the presentations. So basically, Chin Track become an all-in-one tool platform, if you will. So that helps artists to self-publish, to distribute, to book, and promote their music.
Wait, we cut it off a little short, and we are seeing that this video particularly is a little, acting a little crazy. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna make sure that these files are changed up. But we are again uploading all of these videos to one platform, so you're gonna be able to stream all these videos in real time. So that's the cool thing, that the information is gonna be here. I'm gonna try one more video and see if it works a little better. If it doesn't, then what we're gonna do is that we're gonna figure out something else. Today we're doing something else live, and then tomorrow I promise you these issues will be resolved as we're switching the main computer.
We're just gonna have to bring up a whole bunch of people live here, because I mean, this set, I'm still blown away. I love it. I don't want to go home. This is so great.
Let's try this other one real quick, and then we'll let you know if you guys let us know if it's gonna be working.
No blur it is.
What do we got? About 20 minutes to do this?
Whatever time you got.
Oh, I got time. I thought you got to get to the airport. That's why.
This one's a little laggy too. We're gonna try one more, and again, once we figure that out, if it works properly, then we're gonna run it. If not, we're gonna do these videos tomorrow.
Okay, let's go to Isaac.
don't know which one that
Keep
is.
going down. So this young man's super cool. He runs a company called Imprint Genius. Check it out. You know, I talk to people all the time that don't realize that to have merchandise for your brand, you don't have to have a huge overhead. You don't have to invest into buying all this stuff. There's so much print on demand. So there's a huge way right now to be able to, where is it? Right there. There's Isaac. There you go.
This one?
Yeah. So he's actually traveling the world right now. I think when we did this, he was in Thailand. He's been in Sri Lanka. He's been in Dubai. He's going to China to just find the world's best merchandise, because even print on demand, like, you don't have to be thinking either, just hoodies or t-shirts or hats. There's jewelry, there's, I mean, all sorts of, if you go to companies like Printful or Teespring, you'll see, I mean, hundreds of SKUs. So we're going to get really creative about how you guys up your merch game, give you some ideas, also show you different platforms that you can use. And for those artists who are really scaling, who, you know, have a significant fan base that are really running things, and you want to get your whole site and online store to the next level, these guys are working with some of the biggest artists in the game right now, and walking in and showing them how they're leaving millions of dollars on the table, because their just whole e-commerce experience is not set up properly. So Isaac's a master at this, super cool. So he's gonna walk you through. So Imprint Genius, thanks so much for supporting Econ this year. And here we go.
Okay. No.
That is not Isaac.
No.
Trying to do better, but maybe I don't need those. Now I can hear you.
Wait for it.
Oh boy.
Are we still going here?
Oh boy.
Page is unresponsive. What are we seeing here? Okay. See this a little bit. All right. StreamYard wants to crash. Of course, all the tech problems have to happen all at one time. So I think what we're going to do is probably just best to cut it short tonight. And we're going to get all this organized. We're going to upload all these sessions online so that you can view them all at your own pace.
Add to the stream now. We are back. We had to, of course, StreamYard decided to crash on us.
Yeah,
Normal.
that's okay. Mike's back here with us. He wanted you guys all to know that not enough people ask him questions. And so he wants you to have his contact information. He wants you to reach out. You've got some innovative ideas, some stuff that you want to create. What are the
First of all,
questions?
when was the last time you went to a conference and you got Microsoft Envisioneer to give you the contact? That doesn't happen.
I'm telling you, just write me. Happy to talk
Just write to him, reach out. Don't forget, we'll make sure to send out his information so y'all can blow up his inbox. And yeah.
See you here tomorrow.
See you here tomorrow.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do, guys. I just want to make sure that you know we will be back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. We're gonna go, a little shorter on the time that we have set out today, just because, again, we want to make sure that all the tech stuff is taken care of. It has been incredible. It has been great. We have incredible interviews tomorrow by Brandon from Live Nation, Roman, Mr. Credit Man himself. In other words, come on. Get your credit.
Finance game.
Get your credit on, people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as artists, you are terrible with finance. And we all know that. I used to be. So it's all good. We're going to get it right. And we're also going to talk to Mr. Banking himself, Banking for Musicians himself.
Yep, definitely
John.
check out nerve.pro. You're going to want to know about this app, so get signed up. Hopefully by the time you come tomorrow, you're signed up for that. Again, we're going to be hearing from Coda Music. We're going to be hearing from one of the top TikTokers in the game. So if TikTok is your thing and you're trying to figure out how to crack that code, or you want to know if that should be a part of your strategy, Rob Cole is going to take you through exactly what to do there. And yeah, just a whole bunch of people. So we're excited. Also, we've got a couple of attorneys, entertainment attorneys. You want to know how to best manage your IP, secure that, your intellectual property, that's your money, how to really properly also create agreements with your team.
But wait,
so
we're
coming.
also going to talk about NFTs in the metaverse tomorrow.
Yes.
So I'm really
How to
excited
future
about
up.
that. Because you know what, tomorrow I might just even have my Quest 2 on or my HoloLens. I don't know. You might just, see me here with my thing on, and I'd be on 3D in your house. That's just what I might do. So thank you so much for tuning in.
And I gotta give a big shout out to Piper Carter. Thank you for the kind words, and for all of you watching for going along, just rolling with the punches. I mean, this is what we gotta do. So
It's called music entrepreneurship. It's called entrepreneurship.
It's entrepreneurship. Sometimes it happens, but regardless, we're gonna make sure, like I said, that you have all these sessions. You can also watch on your own time. We're going to be rolling out all sorts of workshops over the next couple of months. So there's so much more to come. So again, thank you so much for your time, for trusting us with it, because that is the most precious thing that we all have. We know that.
I will leave you with one last thing. Tonight, what time is it now? It's 5:55. Tonight at 9 p.m., catch us on Clubhouse. So we will be on Clubhouse having a conversation, not just about today, but also about what's coming. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be awesome. We always catch a whole lot of incredible people there. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. My name is Rachel Carey.
My name is Jalen James Acosta.
And thank you for tuning in. Peace out and much love to you.
Huge studio.